Mumbai, formerly called Bombay, is the financial, commercial, and entertainment capital of India. The Mumbai metropolitan region, which is amongst the most populous metropolitan areas in the world, with a population of 2.3 crore. The Mumbai metropolitan region is amongst the most populous metropolitan areas in the world, with a population of 2.3 crore. Mumbai also has the highest number of billionaires out of any city in Asia. Mumbai is home to the Bombay Stock Exchange, situated on the Dalal Street, which is the financial hub of the country. Mumbai lies on the Konkan coast of the west coast of India and has a deep natural harbour. On the Mumbai harbour waterfront stands the iconic Gateway of India stone arch, built by the British Raj in 1924. Some of the iconic places to visit include the Marine Drive, known as the Queen's Necklace. This she-shaped boulevard offers stunning sea views, especially at sunset, and is perfect for evening strolls. The impressive Haji Ali Dargah is a renowned Islamic shrine situated on an islet off the coast of Worli. The Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a magnificent example of the Victorian Gothic Revival architecture, now serving as a busy railway station. The Siddhivinayak Temple, a highly revered Hindu temple dedicated to Lord Ganesha, attracts devotees from all over, and the Ganpati festival is celebrated with much fanfare. The Mahalakshmi Mandir is also amongst the most notable religious temples in Mumbai. The Bandra Worli ceiling, an impressive cable-stayed bridge connecting Bandra and Worli, offers panoramic city and sea views. Bollywood is another term associated closely with Mumbai. India's Hindi language film industry is largely located in Mumbai, home to Amitabh Bachchan, Shah Rukh Khan, Amir Khan, Salman Khan, Ranveer Singh and others. The glitz and glamour of Bollywood attracts many tourists with a chance to experience the culture of Bollywood. Sports is also a way of life in Mumbai, and the city hosts some landmark destinations like the Shivaji Park, the nursery of Indian cricket, the Wankhede Stadium, and is home to Mumbai Indians, one of the most successful franchise in Indian sports. The Mahalakshmi Racecourse was built and opened in the year 1883 and is home to 5 of the biggest derby races in the country. Adding to the list is the brand new CIDCO-built Kharghar Valley Golf Course that is now playing host to PGTI's 27th event this year. With a serene atmosphere and excellent topographical beauty, this picturesque tract of land houses CIDCO's magnum opus Golf and Country Club, an 18-hole international standard golf course of par 72 and 7,137 yards built on 103 hectares.
Good morning, you viewers. We welcome you to round 3 of the CIDCO Open 2025 presented by Larsen & Toubro. The PGTI is making its debut here at the magnificent Kharghar Valley Golf Course in Navi Mumbai. As you can see, the scenery behind me, the hills, the Sahyadris forming the backdrop to this magnificent venue, this newly developed 18-hole course in the outskirts of Mumbai, in Navi Mumbai. And today we have a lot of exciting action lined up for you in round 3 as the leaders are about to complete the front 9, and at this stage Veer Elawat holds on to his lead. He is at a total of 12 under through 7 holes. He's been the leader for the first 2 days. He's looking to seal his second title of the season. Remember, he's coming back from that 1-year stint on the DP World Tour, getting that much needed international exposure on the DP World Tour. And chasing him will be Michele Ortolani of Italy, who is 1 over for the day today at a total of 8 under through 7 holes. And Rohan Dhole Patil of neighbouring Pune from here in Maharashtra making a move. He's 3 under through 9 holes to be at a total of 6 under. Akshay Sharma from Chandigarh has also made a move. He's 4 under through 12 holes to be at a total of 5 under. So let's see whether Veer can hold on to that advantage today He's been ahead for the last 2 days thanks to his long hitting prowess. He's been striking the ball really well off the tee and with his approaches. And he says this course suits my style of play. He's been enjoying playing here. So that was a wrap of the front nine from round three. Let's see what we have in store going forward in the day. It's back to the studio.
And gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the CIDCO Open presented by Larsen and Tubro. We are live from the Kharghar Valley Golf Course here in Navi Mumbai. This is the inaugural event here and the penultimate event on the PGTI calendar here. This tournament offers a prize fund of 1 CR. And I am your host, Shaurya Singh, joined alongside my co-host, Mr. Shivasnath and Ashwin Krishnan. The tournament is currently being led by Veer Lawat, and the weather is perfect at 28 degrees Celsius. Visibility is clear, the weather is perfect, and of course, the golf is perfect as well. Veer Lawat at 12 under, followed closely by Italy's Michel Ortoloni, Rohan Patel, and Subhash. So we are geared in and excited. And Shivas, what are your thoughts? You've been here quite a few times. You've played golf at this beautiful venue, which joins the Professional Golf Tour of India's roster for the first time. A lot of promise, and it's delivering in droves.
Well, thank you, Shaurya, and a very good morning to all our viewers. A warm welcome to our co-host Ashwin Krishnan as well. And it's good to be here at Kharghar Valley, CIDCO. A tremendous golf track, typically 7,300 on the scorecard, but playing to about 7,100 odd this week. This golf course has been put together by CIDCO. CIDCO is an acronym for the City and Industrial Development Corporation in Maharashtra. And it's real kudos to CIDCO. This golf course has been, well, it's already been about 10, 12 years in the making. They had 9 holes ready initially, and now, of course, it's a cracking 18-hole layout. It's about a 45-minute drive from the city of Mumbai and maybe about an hour and 20 from the city of Pune. Couldn't ask for a better location in terms of having a championship golf course, and this one is a beast. It's got teeth, and I can assure you, Shaurya, and of course all our viewers, that you absolutely have to have your A game here to have a chance, of course, from the tips to get a good number on the scorecard. A lot of good strategy, a lot of good movement. It's up in the hills, and there can be a bit of wind as well.
Well, seems like Dhruv definitely does have his A game. That was Dhruv Sharon. He's been in fine fettle this year.
Yes, and this is a lovely little par 3, this ninth. It's, well, not exactly an island green because there's a bit of room behind the green, but you can't see that from the tee. These boys must be hitting in about a 7 or 8 iron. It's about 160, 65 yards. The pin, of course, is in the front today. And yes, it is indeed a great hole. Most of us, when we play our little ninth hole for a bit of nashta, you see a few guys getting a little tight and sending the golf ball swimming. Dhruv, of course, doing very well this week.
Well, this group is luckily all aboard and all dry, so no such issues with the water as yet. But yes, of course, the water is rather precariously placed, and any errant shot will be summarily gobbled up. This whole place 270 yards, so maybe only an 8 or a 9 iron. We have a look at some of the scores where we see Manu Gandas here, who is a former number one with that season almost 4 years back where he had 6 victories, which of course has now been equaled by none other than the indomitable Yuvraj Sandhu, who a little out of flavor this week for the first time, missing the cut, so maybe getting a little bit of
bit of fatigue, I imagine.
Yeah, I'd imagine
that's
more than
all
anything.
I can say, really.
Mental fatigue. Now let's have a look at Manu Gandas with this putt. Should break a little to the right. He's already had the good fortune of seeing Dhruv's putt, so I don't think the line will be much of an issue here for Manu Gandas.
Yeah, this is going to move a bit from the left to the right, of course. You can see that. And, I'm very impressed with the way this whole sets up visually. It's one thing playing the course, sure, yeah, but, when you actually see a brand new course that you've grown so fond of in flesh and blood on the television. It doesn't disappoint at all.
Well, that putt was agonizingly close. I thought it might slip in. It veered a little to the right, but just caressed the cup and failed to go in. So that would be a par for Manu, and that would keep him at 5 under for the tournament. 7 behind Veer Lawat, who's been on a tear this week. A little more sedate today, even par for Veer.
Yeah, a pair of 65. So, obviously, this being the first professional tournament or the first 72-hole tournament, being held on this brand new golf course. 65, of course, was the course record right away. And then he matched it again yesterday with another 65. And that's very, very solid, I tell you that.
Yes, solid golf. Another miss here. That the putts are pretty good. They're coming close, but somehow not quite dropping in the hole. It's nice to see Divyanshu back in the midst as well. Divyanshu Bajaj, the player based out of Kolkata. Divyanshu, of course, good round yesterday. A 5 under par, but having a share of troubles today on the very difficult front nine. The front nine is an absolute behemoth. On the card, the front nine measures in at let me just have a look at this at 3,700 yards and 3,748. So
Now, the front nine Shaurya has some seriously strong holes. And I tell you, the par 3, I don't know what they've got it playing at this week, as of course Dhruv has missed his putt for par, and he's looking at that again. Clearly a bit of a misread.
yeah, see, so we saw the first part move left to right, and surprisingly, this one's done the same. So, I do feel for him because ideally that should have broken from the right. If you have a look at the way the first one broke, so the lie of the green should have made that ball move the other way, and that's why you can see that he is
Yeah, he's
definitely he's.
he's perplexed. Yes, it's probably hit something. That's because there is a bunk on the front right of the green.
Yeah, he's
So
not.
it's very possible. There was a little bit of what we call kankar, and may have deflected off that because it's not on our screen, but that sand trap is also not visible. It's set below the green surface, not very far from where they are right now.
He was waiting for gravity to take hold, but unfortunately it didn't. So that, I don't know if that's an errant putt or a little bit of misfortune, maybe a little bit of both, but such is the game of golf.
And that couldn't have done much for the group standing behind the tee when you have your fellow professionals completely perplexed on the line. That's going to put some thoughts into the heads of the leaders who are right behind where Dhruv, three-putted from.
Well, my only thought at this point in time is looking at this facility and this view.
So let me just jump in, Shaurya. You see the big shed at the bottom right of your screen right now? That's beautiful two-tire driving range that they have at Kharghar. You see the poles there as well. And it's a beautiful facility, a public facility, and always full. Youngsters, expats, beautiful facility.
Well, from a beautiful facility to this beautiful hole. And the leader group is now underway.
Bit of breeze from right to left.
The leader group comprises of Koichiro Sato, Michel Ortolani, Veer Lawat, a truly international flavor to this leaderboard. We have one player from America, United States, then you have an Italian, and of course Veer holding the national flag high. So it's really exciting. I can't quite recollect when I've last seen that, but this is the flavor of things. Veer on the tee. The Professional Golf Tour of India is going from strength to strength.
Sato clearly having a tough day today, Shaurya. Sato's 5-0 for the round, having just completed 8. So that's then I wonder if the hole number 6. Just have a look at his card. Whether the monster 498 yard par for 6th has taken its toll.
A brilliant shot by Veer Lawat, 15 feet to the left of the flag. While we also have a look at the trials and tribulation for Sato. Of course, quite a few difficult holes, as Shivas mentioned. The 6th, 498. Let's see if he can get one in close here. Maybe going with an 8 iron.
He's hit it, I think, to the fat center left.
Not quite certain where that has ended up.
But that's typically a winter problem, right? When the skies are a little bit hazy, there's a little bit of fog. We had the same issue in Delhi last week, and New Mumbai. Being up in the hills, this particular course, same problem for our camera boys. They have to keep working harder.
So Mr. Sato is 5 over for the day, but of course, he can always make amends on the back nine as you have a look at old number 9, and you can see our sponsor plaques there.
And of course, there you see some of the hills and the beautiful topography in the background. And the hole number 10, the beast. And this one, ladies and gentlemen, is another monster. It's about probably 470 yards. And there's a massive water body in the center of the fairway that you have to get across, maybe fly 265 to carry it over.
Yeah, Dhruv Sharon won't really have too many issues with distance. He really does pack a punch. So does Divyanshu. He's what they call in golfing parlance sneaky long. He's able to get it really pumped up when required.
With this 10th hole, I have to tell you, Shaurya, there's in the afternoons particularly, the wind kind of gets up in your face. And then to carry that water body from the tips, as we call it, it's one hell of a task. There's a little bit of a bailout area on the right, but not much because the driving range poles also run down the right side. So this hole, you got to have a couple of really hefty blows to make it to the green. And it moves just a bit left to right. So there's a lot of bailout area on the left side, though.
And for those of you who are joining us, we'd like to tell you that this is the penultimate event of what has been a resounding success this season. I've seen a lot of first-time winners. Of course, Yuvraj lapping up a host of victories, and it's going to culminate into the Tata Open 2025. And your leader this year, and already crowned numero uno, is Yuvraj Sandhu at 1.61 crore and 67,000. So a lot of money, and of course he has the final week as well to add to that tally.
And the final one, sorry to interject, is also a 2 crore event like we had last week in at Delhi Golf Club, the Vishwa Samudra Open, right?
Yes, that's a 2 crore event. And trailing him is N. Thangaraja from Sri Lanka, Shaurya Bhattacharya, the young phenom. Really had a breakout season as you have a look at our lead group here. And it's been a trying week for our players. Another over par cut, obviously owing to the degree of difficulty of this golf course, and it's not been the easiest, to put it mildly, and that's something that we like to see. A new venue, really well manicured and well kept, of course, posing the requisite amount of challenge for our players.
A good amount of local flavor as well. A lot of Mumbai players, some Pune players. Rohan Dhole Patil, has split the scores a bit, and it's good to see Rohan looking around the top of the leaderboard because, as I mentioned, it's not a very long drive from Pune, so he has a bit of experience playing here.
That's a good, decent chip shot, running about 3 feet by. The one coming back should break from the right for Michel Ortolani.
It'll be very interesting to see, how a lot of the international players, and I see a lot of them have done very well this week, have actually dealt with this course as well. Because, it's again my belief that a lot of the Indian players have played a lot of the courses on the PGTI roster, even as juniors and amateurs. And now that they've all come on to a brand new course, it sort of evens things out a little bit.
Really good effort right there by Sato. Koichiro Sato with that nifty chip should be able to make his par. Setting the stage for Veer Lawat. We'll have this 15-footer, which by all accounts should break to the right-hand side. Normally you'd see that if there's a water body, the grass normally grows in that direction. That's one of the things that a cue that you can use if you are confounded by the line of the green. Look at, they say just use the water test, or the bucket test. If you were to pour a bucket of water in the center of the green, which way will it flow? And normally that's the way that you'll see the ball break. So, logic tells us that this should break left to right. But of course, the grain does play a factor as well.
No, you're absolutely right about that, Shaurya. This one will indeed break left to right. And I just had a quick look at Sato's scorecard. And yes, as expected, the sixth hole did take its toll. He has made indeed a double bogey on the sixth hole and followed it up with bogeys on the seventh and the eighth. So, well, that's of course very unfortunate, but the young man does have his work cut out and a round and a half to recover.
It's interesting to note that the sixth has not yielded a single birdie. So let's see who is going to bring that hole to
In
its
fact,
knees.
over the last two rounds, because I've been particularly interested in Shaurya in the sixth hole, knowing the monster it is, and only three birdies in the first two rounds.
That's a brilliant putt right there. Really well gauged by Veer Lawat. So getting into red numbers now, we'll move to
And
13 under par.
under, yes, indeed. I think a lot of the experience Veer has gained playing in Europe over the past season. New courses, different weathers, and I think that's really helped him tremendously on this course, which is was a completely unknown commodity till 4 days ago.
Yes, of course. He's gained a lot of experience playing on the DP World Tour. Pretty certain that he'll be eager to add to his tally of tournaments and good finishes there as you have a look at Koichiro Sato with what appears to be a short little putt. But same, he's missed it on the same side. So obviously
Shades
there's-
of the Drew Shuron putt, right? It just
Yeah,
didn't come back.
very similar. So you can see that, as I was stating, that it's not always just the lie of the land; it's also the direction of the grass. And at times I remember there's another golf course here that the pull is also based on the hill. So they used to say there's something based on the magnetic pull by the hills, and I don't know how true that is, but that could be the case. Sometimes the ball actually breaks against gravity. So it seems like this is a putt where that has been exhibited. So I'm not quite certain which way Michel's Mr. Alteroni's putt is going to break. Logic says that maybe right or left, but as we've seen, it's difficult to call it. So maybe just do a little bit of a Russian roulette and see how that works out.
Yes, I don't know if his co-partners have helped him or confused him further, but well done.
That looks good.
Solid par.
So
He stays right there.
no issues here for Ortolani.
So Ortolani at 9 under and Erlawat at 13 under. And they move on now to the solid back nine. The back nine is going to have its own set of theatrics, and we're going to wait for our viewers to see that. We're not going to give away the surprises that await these players.
And as you have a look at the players who are here on the moving day, the penultimate day that we bring to you live on the ABP network, DD Sports Professional Golf Tour of India. Few noteworthy who have missed the cut. Vikrant Chopra missing the cut. MD Solayaman from Bangladesh missing the cut. Then you have, of course, Yuvraj. Probably the first time that he's missed the cut that I can remember. Of course, he's been playing so many tournaments on the trot, so maybe a little bit of a breather before he comes back for the final push. And you also have the other players from Bangladesh having missed the cut. So quite a few good players who have not been able to make. Shankar Das, surprising for the former number one, also not making the weekend round. As we have a look at Weed here, unleashing a drive on the long 10th. This hole lends itself really well to a beautifully hit drive, and that's something that he is adept at doing. Let's see if he's been able to find the fairway, and yes, really well done there.
Yeah, no problem for him at his length and size. I mean, just look at the boy. Look at his height and his turn and the arc. Absolutely top class. It's nice to see the CIDCO decal on the front of the tee. Great work by our production team. And a quick word about our presenting partner, Larsen & Toubro, one of the largest infrastructure and development houses in the country. And, it's so nice to see them put their weight behind sports. Thank you for supporting golf. It's probably the first time that they have, and a big shout out to them for having done so. Ortolani, not happy. Looks like he's lost it left. He needs to miss the water body or he's in trouble. Yep, safe.
So what about Larsen & Toubro, also colloquially called L&T? They've been actively involved in promoting sport both in India as well as overseas. As we have a look at Koichiro Sato after that missed putt, we'll come back to L&T's introduction to our viewers who are not acquainted, who of course would be, but still, we'll give you a rundown of the same as we have a look at Cochiro. Would be looking to give a good lash, and that recoil tells you that he's not left anything in the tank. He's really
Well,
gone.
he had to, otherwise the ball would be in the tank. I tell you that. That didn't fly by very much.
So, L&T has been involved in promoting sport in India and overseas, and has been building sport infrastructure like the world's largest cricket stadium in Motera, Ahmedabad. Of course, we are all aware of that one. What a brilliant stadium it is indeed. And the world's largest hockey stadium in Rourkela, and sponsoring capital sports events. While L&T is an important L&T Open is an important event on the WTA tennis circuit. The L&T Marathon brings thousands of marathoners to run together, and now golf has been added to the kitty. They also sponsor the L&T Open Golf Tournament.
So back to Manu Gandas on the 10th green. And this putt is going to move from right to left, and it is super slow. Sure, you're alluding to what you were mentioning about the grain and the hills. There's a massive hill on the left of the green, which is what he's actually putting into. So it's relatively much slower than someone else coming down from the other side. Also, the nap and the grain on the green makes a break, and this one will move right to left.
So we'll need to. It is a little firmer than the others. Has he got the speed?
Yes, bang on right.
He's got the speed. He's got the direction, and that makes for a perfect marriage to find the bottle. To make
Sure,
the
yeah,
bottom
well
of the
said.
cup.
I'm particularly impressed with the way, a great action replay. Viewers watch his head, watch his hands. Nice, calm, wide motion. No wrist. Just beautiful tempo.
Veer also really coming into form, having won Jaipur, where he went head to head with Yuvraj. That was an interesting event. Then at Delhi Golf Club, he played fairly well there as well. And of course, now leading the tournament by a handsome margin of 4 shots. Now, this will have a lot of break from the right.
See that? He missed that. Underread it. It's very subtle, Shaurya. And, it will take, I think, a couple of seasons for these folks to figure this out. You've played a lot at Oxford, I would believe, as well, which is another great track in the similar region.
Almost similar topography also.
Exactly,
in a way.
exactly.
And there as well, the lines, they're very
Audacious.
yeah, very nondescript when you look at them, but
Yeah.
they really do have a sting in the tail. You can't quite tell which way it's going to break, and you actually end up looking at the hills and thinking you're some sort of a navigator on the open seas. You're trying to figure the line
No,
out.
it does. It does flatter to deceive. You're absolutely right.
Pretty similar here as well.
Yes,
We've seen
yes.
that these parts. Let's see if Dhruv now. He did miss that one on the previous hole. If he can. So this is what happens. You see that. I was mighty impressed with the putter flip there. It's showing you his athletic prowess. Of course,
And hand-eye coordination, dare I add.
So unfortunate for him to have missed that, but as you're right, it'll take a little bit of time for our players, because the golf course matures as well, and the lines are tricky.
Yes.
Because these are some of the best in India. Of course, Dhruv has been in the middle of a purple patch of sorts. And,
Indeed. But, I like what you said there, Shaurya, about, the golf course takes time to mature, because that's something that I have been at great pains, while, of course, we have our friend from Italy finding his way out of the trees.
You think about threading the needle. This is what it is. No. Threading the needle. I wonder if he's going through that. It's a maze and then some.
I suspect he's going to have to, chip this one out, because where he is at, there are just multiple trees, and then it's hit and hope. And that's not how professional golfers approach things. There's a purpose, there's an objective.
Yeah, well, these guys are good. Just give them a feet, and he'll be able to hit a laser low shot through there. So I won't put it beyond the Italian stallion either. You never know.
I have to tell you that this is exactly. So yesterday I happened to be at the Classic Golf Resort, which is not very far from New Delhi, and there was a US kids golf event, and the 10th hole at the Classic. Typically, most of us have always had a long iron or a hybrid and then pitched in. So I was shocked with the amount of older kids hitting drivers to the front of the green.
Looks like he's
different mindset altogether.
Looks like he's taking the aerial route. I'm not quite certain if he's going low, so seems like he has some sort of a line from there. Yes, look at
Oh, he's
that.
hooking it. Oh my God. Shades of Tiger Woods there.
A large Tiger Woods swing.
Oh, well, I hope for him he's pulled that off, because I can tell you one thing. There is out of bounds on the right of that fairway. So if it hasn't moved enough, that could be a bit of trouble. And I wouldn't want that for him.
That's a really good effort, though. I'll tell you that he didn't leave anything in the tank. As Veer, who would not
He's
need to
in
do that.
position A1 plus.
Yeah, he won't really need to do that. Can hit a comfortable shot here.
And everything here on the green moves from left to right. That's the way it feeds, because of that mountain we were talking about.
That's a rather lovely design on that t-shirt. Floral, if I'm not wrong. Now we have a look at Sato, who's actually hitting after Veer. So tells you that he's really bludgeoned one down
Well, we
there.
saw his golf swing. There was a lift off there.
Yeah, so Veer is a long hitter. And so to have hit this past him is obviously noteworthy effort.
Well, let's see what Sato does. He has to correct the string of bogeys that he's had coming in to the back nine.
We're not quite certain where that has ended up.
You know, I tell you what, Shaurya, with everything that we've been seeing on the top of the leaderboard, let me tell you, I see that wily old Mukesh Kumar is, of course, had not just made the cut, but he is, of course, at the bottom of the ladder. But to see him at this age and stage hitting the ball the distance that he does, which is that much shorter than the younger guys, to have actually made the cut, I think that's very impressive. I mean, Mukesh doesn't cease to amaze me at any level at all, at any point. It's incredible. He's put in rounds of, what is that? 72, 73. Today he's struggling a bit at 4 over, but the man, the legend, the most prolific winner on the PGTI ever, you've got to say something about that.
He's a war horse. It reminds me a little bit of one of my favorite movies, Seabiscuit. Of course, Seabiscuit made that great comeback. He's a thoroughbred, always leading, and 60 or 61 years young, and still playing like an absolute champion. He's an inspiration for all of us as we have a look at hole number 12.
Hole number 12.
Gaurav Pratap Singh,
par
GPS.
four, a short one. Most of these boys can drive it pretty much onto the green, or extremely close to the green. It's been playing under par. Yesterday it played, I think, about almost half a shot under par. So probably given up a lot of birdies yesterday.
Gaurav Pratap Singh, a two-time winner on the Professional Golf Tour of India, has top 25 in career earning money list. He's a very consistent golfer, and packs quite a punch. Has a heavy hit.
He's a strong lad.
And a very good short game as well. He's spent a lot of time honing that short game, working with different coaches. He's worked with the famous Mr. Kel Llewellyn, who was the coach of Jyoti Randhawa back in the day. And
the Australian, yes. Very legendary coach, I must say.
So he has very nifty hands. Almost, I would say that Gaurav Pratap Singh, of course, belongs to the part of the country that I do. But I say that he's got Spanish hands. Very good short game.
You play a lot of golf with Gaurav, haven't you, Shaurya?
Yeah, and as you have a look at MD Akbar Hussein's putt, Gaurav Pratap also has a need for speed. We'll get to that as well. MD Akbar Hussain, but this turning from left to right. Oh, that again agonizingly close. That seems to be the theme of the week, that the putter is a club that these players will have to conquer. Of course, this beautifully treacherous layout, if I might say.
Very eloquent with your words, Shaurya. Yes, you're right. Absolutely right about that. And of course, that's again part of winter tournaments where the course is prepared and you have winter grasses and summer grasses. So the grasses, the density is a little more sparse on the greens during the winter seasons and these events.
Mari Mutua, no trouble for him. probably one of the longest hitters in Asia, one of the strongest as well. You see him.
He's a strong lad, yes.
You see him up
Stocky.
close. He's
A vision shaping world-class
built
cities,
for menace.
creating a global gateway for tomorrow. Delivering efficient urban mobility. Empowering the next generation. Building infrastructure that drives growth. Creating vibrant and livable communities. CIDCO. Transforming vision into reality.
पढ़ता है खेलता है झूलता उछलता है दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया पढ़ता है खेलता है झूलता उछलता है दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया
Breakthrough. We make breakthroughs happen in transportation infrastructure and equally in all the segments in which we are engaged. Breakthroughs which are accelerating the pace of progress across industry. Breakthroughs which help you see further than ever before. For over 80 years, we have been creating happier, brighter tomorrows. 8 decades of trust. Larsen and Toubro.
Up in Navi Mumbai, also a project by CIDCO. Along with that, we have a change in the commentary box as well. Shaurya Singh gives us to grab his coffee, and we have my buddy Ashwin Krishnan in the commentary booth. Welcome, Ashwin.
Thank you so much, Shivas. (2025) being played at the Kharghar Valley Golf Course, making its debut on the PGTI circuit.
Yes, and it's indeed a pleasant addition, and I'm just so happy that the PGTI is literally taking golf not just across the country. Of course, it has a few events outside of India as well, but bringing in new locations that otherwise wouldn't have actually been given an opportunity to host a professional golf event. In fact, it's the first professional golf event in Kharghar in Navi Mumbai, and that's big news.
So true. I've got so many questions to ask of you about this golf course. We'll take it as it comes.
So I have to tell you, Ashwin, while we talk about my love and admiration for this course, I actually do go across to this particular course, which is Navi Mumbai. It's an hour and a half drive from my home in Prabhadevi, and it's at least twice a month that I like to go there and play around with my buddies. And every time I come back, excellent management there, excellent conditions, can't get better. So things are awesome at this course, and it has a bright future. Ortolani.
Yeah, I've seen them around somewhere before. There's one question I want to ask you. This par 5/8 hole, right?
Yes,
Which
indeed.
is a third rated 3 on the stroke index. We've had about 8 birdies here today, as against maybe a couple of 2 or 3 bogeys, not more than that. So
Yes.
what has caused that to happen? Because what I've not understood why a par stroke index 3 hole is so easy to birdie today. Is it the pin position or what is it?
Well, so the eighth hole actually it's a very interesting par 5. It's a strong hole, and it's got a water hazard on the right side next to the teeing ground, and and I would say a bit of a not a water hazard, but a channel, like a little stream on the left side. So and also it's guarded by a bunker on the front left of the fairway. So it has to be a very measured tee shot. As a lot of our youngsters say, it's not exactly a full send off the tee. You place it there, and then there's a cluster of bunkers again in the middle of the fairway, and the green itself is guarded by a mound. So again, there's a bit of movement on that green. So based on the pin position, I think you have to make up your mind on the tee itself, whether you're going to play it as a 3-shot hole and wedge it in and try and, make par. And that's why you see, and that's probably likely what's happened today, because you see there aren't very many birdies or bogeys. So everyone's just playing it as a very solid par 3-shot hole.
So whoever is birdied, it is obviously attacking the pin.
Or has made a little big putt as a bomb.
So true, so true, so true.
No, but that was a great question, and this is a very well designed golf course. It was originally designed by Phil Ryan, and then recently, all the new additions of the backline by Vijit Nandarjog, Golf Design, who's also one of the tour partners on the PGTI. It's a tremendous layout. I just would love to see more and more tournaments coming here, more and more golfers making their way to Kharghar.
That's a par 3 11th. The first of 3 par 3s on the return journey. It's a very scenic golf course as well.
Oh, indeed. A lot of movement, a lot of hills. And, coming back to your question about the 8th hole, I just looked up the pin sheet. So the pin is cut 20 from the front, but more on the left side. And then there's a bit of a slope and a water body on the left side. So guys have obviously been hitting it to the safe side on the right.
Better safe than sorry. What a beautiful hill in the background.
Yes, and there's a beautiful CIDCO guest house on top of that hill, which you will see if our cameramen indulge us a little bit. There's a beautiful guest house that's being built on the top of this hill.
Reminds me a little of Forest Hill in Chandigarh.
Oh, yes. And particularly, for a city like Mumbai, to have a golf course, and let's say approximately about an hour's drive away, give or take a bit. You don't even feel you're in Mumbai, Ashwin, when, you're at this course. You don't even feel you're in India at some points of time because of the topography and the trees that line the fairways.
That first tee shot found the heart of the green.
Yeah, so there should be maybe about an 8-iron for these lads. I imagine it's about 160 odd yards. The green is slightly elevated. Oh, beautiful tee shot there.
That's a birdie for the taking. What an outstanding tee shot.
So interestingly, the 11th hole, which obviously comes after the 10th, but it's a climb of about 40 to 50 feet up the hill. So this hole is set up a lot higher than the 10th hole that these boys have just played.
I've recited the story several times, but somewhere down the line, I'll tell you a little story about Forest Hill not Forest Hill, Gokarna Forest Country Club, one of the tournaments that took place, about an elevated tee box.
That's a nice looking shot as well. Oh, yes, one more.
Each one outdoing the other. Looks
Lovely
like
tee
we
shot.
set up for 2 birdies on this hole.
Indeed. So yes, your story about Gokarna, that's the gorgeous course in Nepal, right? Where you used to have the Surya Masters.
So true. Surya Nepal Masters. The Gokarna Golf, called the Surya Nepal Masters. It was for a time, and then after that the name changed.
Okay.
But there's a very interesting story of Indrajit Bolotia. You're aware of that hole, aren't you? There is a rivulet flowing through the hole. There's an OP fence on the left.
Okay.
And
This after we have some highlights, highlight reels running through right now. Let's a closer look at Veera Rawat's printed shirt that our co-commentator and buddy Shaurya was admiring.
there we go, back to action. So as I was telling you, as they walk up to the green, let me quickly finish the story. So there's a rivulet flowing through the fairway. There's
Yes.
a hill on the right, very narrow fairway on the right, and a little bit of fairway beyond the rivulet, and an OB fence. Indrajit Bolotia hit his tee shot, and it landed in the rivulet. So did his fellow golfer. I don't remember who that was. And as they walked up to take a drop, Bolotia's ball started moving.
Oh, in the water.
It kept flowing, and the rivulet flows out of the course, the OB fence, with the green on the right. It went and wedged itself at that corner there. Balotia chipped on and two putted.
Well, that's incredible. Well, the gods certainly have favored our good friend Indrajit Balotia, and of course, most of Indian golf know Indrajit at age 17 and was the first early ones to go out to try and qualify for what was then called the British Open, which is now, of course, the Open. And yeah, he runs a tremendous academy in Calcutta, and of course, a good friend to most of us in Indian golf, and also now the golf captain of the Royal, as we call it, the Royal Calcutta Golf Club.
I believe so. That's outstanding. They couldn't have picked a better man for the job.
Absolutely. So yes, here back to the 11th hole, and Michel Ortolani.
It's a longish putt. What are the greens reading on the stemp meter today?
I think it's about 10.6 today, and that's very impressive. Again, for a new golf course where literally I recall it was about July of last year that the course opened up. So literally in less than a year and a half to be hosting a professional tournament, and the greens having matured enough to roll at 10.6 is a stupendous effort by both CIDCO and IPI, who actually managed the course for them. So yes, to answer your earlier question, actually the Gokarna golf course in Nepal, I am not familiar with that. That's one of the few rare ones that I have on my book that I need to play still, yes, Ashwin. But lovely stories about it. And also the wildlife that actually, calls that golf course its home.
So true, so true. As is the case with Dig Boy a couple of weeks ago. The wildlife there's a couple of stories from there, and there's a lot of wildlife here as well. Leopards in Mumbai, especially in this area.
Well, that's a nice putt.
Longish
I
putt.
think he's got a speed all right. This does move left to right because of the lay of the terrain. And no, yes, you're right. Mumbai and the surrounds, at least back in the day, did have some very significant and healthy population of wildlife. But as the city has grown, obviously, the natural habitat for the animals has been disturbed. So that's unfortunately the world order, if I may say.
Veer Alabat with his straddling technique. We've been watching him do that this whole season. It hasn't served him too badly.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. It's good to see him, playing a bit of golf on the PGTI after his, one season on the DP World, from where I would have believed he's, learned a lot. And good to see him at 13 under. He's 4 ahead of Ortolani. And certainly that sets up quite nicely for the 27 holes or 25 holes that they have left to play for this tournament.
He's dropped just 3 shots this tournament thus far. One on the 9th yesterday. He had a bogey-free round on day 1. 65 was
He
blemish-free.
seems to have missed that, right? Yes, he has missed that to the right. So, this is exactly what Shaurya was discussing, that, when there's a very heavy hill or a contour movement, on a macro level, on a green, although it may look like there's a slope from the right to the left, it might actually move the other way. And that's exactly what's happened, which happens a lot in the same region in Oxford Golf Club as well.
Optical illusions.
Yes, indeed. And sometimes we don't trust it, right, Ashwin? Because you're seeing something and your brain is telling you something else. And then maybe, in some cases, something completely altogether different third thing happens.
And golf is such a mental game that just one of those things happening can put you off your game. Because you can start worrying about your putt, which you're otherwise very confident about.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Because a lot of times we're quite confident about the stroke, but we don't actually hit it or commit to it entirely if we aren't sure of the read and the line. An important putt here for Ortolani. Probably dead straight up the hill. And he's
What
missed
a
it to the right.
narrowness, yeah.
It's really, amazing in the last 1 hour that, we've been televising the event, the amount of short putts or the misreads, if I may add, that the players are having, because it's just such an unfamiliar hilly territory and a new golf course altogether. Sato, that's his birdie for him, I would believe. Well done, well deserved.
There's always an exception to the rule, and there we just saw one. What I also want to ask you a question about Veer Alawat. He's a very tall golfer. You yourself being a tall golfer, how does it? Do short golfers have a bigger advantage in golf? Like short cricketers, short batsmen certainly have a better advantage because it's a low center of gravity. Does that work in golf as well?
It's a very contrary view on that. So yes, you're right. In certain sports, being a bit shorter or having a lower center of gravity helps. Certainly in even sports like squash, where there's less pressure on your back and on your thighs and your glutes. But in golf, I think size does matter. Dare I say that and use that expression, because you're going to have a much wider arc, and as is happening in most other sports, it's a power game. You're going to generate more speed. You're going to have a wider arc, and I think it's an advantage in golf, in particular, to be taller. And historically, again, the shorter players who usually can't hit it. Of course, Rory McIlroy is a global exception to pretty much everything. Can't hit it as far as the big boys. They tend to have a very strong shot game to kind of balance it out.
Chippat Chaurasia being a prime example.
Oh yes, he's indeed a Indian legend and a favorite of all of us here in the commentary booth, isn't he? I've really enjoyed seeing how SSP has, grown as a golfer, from his early days to, being a multiple winner on the European Tour, a couple of Indian Opens as well. And, I thoroughly enjoy the amount of time he spends and the time he has for youngsters, particularly at his home club of RCGC. Wow, that moved fast and moved a lot.
These are 4 or 5 feet long putts, maybe shorter.
This is a short par 4, this 12th hole, and it's very, very drivable.
Well, there's been a sea of birdies here today and just a handful of bogeys, but otherwise nearly 12 to 15 golfers have birdied this hole.
Yesterday, the average score for this hole, I think Ashwin was under par, because it's possible that it was playing a bit downwind, and a lot of these boys would be just, if not on the green, just around the green.
The other interesting stat that I can see from this hole by hole scorecard in front of me is the number of double bogeys in the front 9 vis-a-vis
the 6th hole. Has to be the 6th hole.
No, in the front 9
Yeah,
per
okay.
se.
Okay.
Vis-a-vis probably just 3 in the back 9. And there are 4 eagles to match to offset those, but it's the number of not a single eagle on the front 9.
So there we have it on the 12th hole, Ashwin, where the ball is just off the green, and that's the green, and that's the tee at the back. You see the tall towers and the hill. So that's it. These guys are pretty much driving the green. These guys were 340. Obviously a bit of thinner air because of the elevation. Yeah, so coming back, the way this course is set up, and I'm reasonably familiar with it, the front 9 actually has longer and stronger holes from the tee, where you have to absolutely hit it hard and put yourself in the right position to have a better approach shot into the green. The backline, on the contrary, is more about strategy and placement of the tee shot with smaller flips and wedges into the green.
No wonder. But it's interesting because the tournament will conclude on the back 9. So the approach of the players, if it is a close call tomorrow, is going to be interesting to watch.
Yes, now we have Ortolani. Yeah. As they say, it's going to be send it time. And he's given this the full treatment. Left of the bunker.
Oh.
Well, that's fine. I mean, he just has a flip up onto the green, but 30, 35 yards from there. And with that, it is my time to have a coffee break and enjoy my cappuccino, welcoming back my friend Shaurya Singh into the commentary box to join Ashwin Krishnan.
Thank you for that, Shivas. While we have a look at hole number 13.
Oh. Interesting approach shot that. Doesn't seem to be too windy a day. But while wind will not play too much of a role here, accuracy is paramount to success on this par 3, the second of 3 par 3s on the back 9 at the Kharghar Valley Golf Course.
This is indeed a rather treacherous hole with water adjacent to the green and the green sloping away. So players would best exercise some caution here on hole number 13, the ominously named 13. And no caution here. Going hell for leather. What a beautiful shot right there.
That's left him with about a 25-foot putt. The greens are running a fair bit. The ball doesn't really stop where it is, where it lands, or near where it lands.
178 yard this hole, and the flag pin position today 11 from the front and 3 from the right.
It's an undulating course, Shaurya, isn't it? There's a lot of walking you have to do, hilly terrain.
Yes, quite a bit. And the back nine, of course, is a lot more genial than the front. We're seeing the players with a lot of red numbers on the back nine, especially the par 5 14th. This 14th hole measures at only 502 yards. For these players, that's an absolute bread and butter, if I may say so. But the front nine obviously takes a toll. And the player who is bulletproof at this point in time is Veer Lawat. Also a word about CIDCO. CIDCO is the acronym of the City and Industrial Development Corporation of Maharashtra Limited, completely owned by the state government, incorporated as a company on the 17th March 1972. It's a public sector undertaking of the government. CIDCO was notified by the state government as a new town development authority. The government later widened the scope of CIDCO's activity, delegating the responsibilities as a special development authority. Today, CIDCO has earned a reputation as the premier town planning and development agency in the world. And of course, their work is for all to see. Beautiful complexes, development, and of course, this golf course as well. And this tournament, my apologies. What a brilliant tournament it's turning out to be. The inaugural here at Kharghar Valley.
We just saw an aerial view of the golf course. Outstanding facility, peppered with large water bodies. Challenging, but yet rewarding if you are able to surmount the challenges they pose. That's a longish putt that Manu Gandas is staring down. Hydration is key, despite the fact that it's December. The ways and means of studying putts. Very interesting to see what he's doing. He's got his hand held up in front of his face. What does that do, Shaurya?
Well, that's a variant of the aim point technique. Of course, a lot of players now using the aim point express, and it's another technique just to gauge how much the break would be on this putt. Because this is quite a long putt for Manu Gandas here.
Lining up is key to success. And he lets it rip. There we go. Beautifully directed putt, but it misses the cup to the left. Not enough legs, otherwise it would have certainly found the heart of the cup. It was the direction was immaculate. Just a little bit of power, and he would have found the heart of the cup there. Of course.
Players really enjoying this week. Dhruv Sharon, seeing him at hole number 13. Having a really good year. Dhruv, brilliant golfer, really good iron striker at that stellar week at the DP World Championship. But today the putter is definitely not acquiescing. Now again left with that nervous 3.5, 4 feet, and he's not had the best of those today. As we also have a look at Koichiro Sato in live feed too. This really does make it interesting. The ability to see 2 holes at the same time. You can also have a look at Divyanshu Bajaj on your live feed 1.
The CIDCO Open 2025, presented by Larsen and Tubro, is the 27th leg of the PGTI's 2025 calendar. One more event to go after this, and the season comes to an end. It's interesting to see Manu Gandas. He is ranked 4th on the list of birdie makers this season, 361 birdies in total, which is an outstanding effort. Also surprising to see, oh my God, that stopped just short. Just short. He will tap that in. Interesting to see Veer Lawat not anywhere in the top 15 birdie makers. It goes to show this consistency in his game, not just about birdieing them.
Veer Lawat currently leading the tournament by 4 shots. And Subhash Tamang really roaring through the leaderboard and climbing up. Subhash 5 under par today, reaches 8 under par. So tells you a little bit about his game. And of course, this golf course as well, which players have found rather difficult. The cut has been applied at 4 over par. And for those of you who might be surprised that our number 1 player this week didn't have the best week, so he's not here for the weekend. But he's had a stellar year thus far. And some of the biggest names today, we have the international flavor of Michelle Ortolani, Koichiro Sato playing alongside Veer Lawat for the leader group. As you can see, that putt beautifully drained by Koichiro Sato, the American with Japanese heritage. Oh, what a brilliant putt. And must also say that he's got quite the social media presence as well. Got a penchant for that, and great sense of humor, of course, and a great golf game to boot. Veer Lawat as well, stellar player, former number 1. Last year he was the number 1. This year has applied his trade on the DP World Tour. He played the Indian Open last year at DLF Golf and Country Club, where he finished 2nd. Now this putt maybe all of 5.5 feet breaking to the left. At least that's what we assume, but it's been difficult here reading the greens. And broke the other way. So it tells you that, of course, it's still early days and the players are venturing here for the first time. They will eventually learn more and more about this club. Let's see if Ortolani has been... he definitely would have been helped by Veer Lawat's putt. Very subtle breaks here from that range of 6 feet and inside. This tournament, of course, carries a prize fund of 1 crore 15 lakh going to the winner. So a lot of money to be played for. Another change that has happened, that the players can now fashion shorts. Well done. That's a brilliant putt right there by Michelle Ortolani.
Interesting to see the international flavor here. 10 international golfers competing, and 2 of them in the leader group. Michelle Ortolani and Koichiro Sato playing alongside the leader Veer Lawat. That speaks volumes for the growth that the PGTI is achieving and the popularity globally.
And that was Mari Muthu. Nifty chip right there.
Subhash Tamang is playing outstanding golf today. 7 birdies as against 1 double bogey on the 6th. He's sitting tied 2nd at 8 under with Ortolani. Veer Lawat, of course, is 4 strokes ahead of the group at 12 under. Courtesy is opening round 65, followed by an identical round on day 2. That looks like a downhill putt. The greens are reading at 10.1. And caution is important for success on these greens, as well as the water technique that you mentioned, Shaurya. I'm going to try to employ it when I play golf next.
Yeah, that seems to work most of the times. That helps you understand a little bit about the lie of the land. About 10 odd feet here, downhill on hole number 14. Just about missing it on the right. Ravi right there.
The wind speeds are picking up slightly. What a beautiful facility the Kharghar Valley Golf Course is. Picturesque in every which way. Hills, water bodies, name it, lush green fairways.
Of course, we focused here on the top 15 players. We have a look at Gaurav Pratap Singh, but let's also have a look at some of the scores. We have Chandrajit Yadav, who is having a brilliant day at 5 under par. Angad Chima, he missed a cut the previous week at Delhi Golf Club, but has played beautifully today, 4 under par. If we have a look at Gaurav Pratap Singh, fluorescent and white. I'm begging for that to go in. A little bit of body English. You saw that missed on the lower side. Ravi Kumar, 3 under par. Akshay Sharma, the winner on tour, at 3 under par, based out of Chandigarh. First look at Rohan Dhole Patil. Anshul Kapatyal, the long driving Anshul at even par. Pankaj Mandaya, 2 under par. Arjun Sharma, the golfer based out of Greater Noida, also playing really well today, 4 under par. And that part goes in, but of course he was gesticulating to his caddy. So that normally happens when there's something that didn't quite execute as they would have expected. Maybe the break, the ball probably turned a little more than expected. And that's something that we've seen from the players this week, as our first look at the leader group, playing the treacherous 13th. Now this is all that you want to practice a little bit of caution on. Definitely don't want to miss it left. Let's see how Veer does.
The 13th has yielded more drop shots than birdies, but that's a brilliant shot there.
That's really well done. 20 feet under the flag. That's a good place to be. And I personally feel that's a good distance to try and hole a putt, because if you're inside 10 feet, there's a little bit of added pressure as well. And then you're having to be perfect with regards to the line. So this is somewhere where you can freewheel a little bit. Of course, the percentage of drop putts will be lower, but I think you'd be able to execute a better putt. Look at that. The beautiful setting that is here at Kharghar Valley. It is really quite the venue here, and this first tournament is thus far been a stellar event. The moving day, as we like to call the third day, is also delivered. You know, we had players.
I'm sorry, sir. My mistake.
पर हम भी जिद्दी है। मुश्किल खड़ी है, खोले सीना, सामने एक चट्टान है, मेरी जिद का बोले पसीना, चट्टानों के अंदर आसमान है। जिद कैंपा वाली, जिद कैंपा वाली, जिद कैंपा वाली, जिद।
Joining a global chorus. The Song of Progress is never sung solo. We operate in virtually every continent. We speak your language. And wherever we are, we reach out, we share, we participate in the adventure of collective progress. For over 80 years, we have been creating happier, brighter tomorrows. 8 decades of trust. Larson and Toubro.
Back to the action. We'd also like to mention with a heavy heart that one of our promising players, Hardik Chavda, we lost him recently. And my condolences to the family and from all of us here in the commentary booth, our deepest respect. And of course, we can't quite express the loss that we feel. He was a great, promising talent and gone too soon. And he's in our prayers and in our hearts. And may long live his legacy and peace to the family.
Veera Lawat has dropped a shot on the 12th. On the back nine, he's dropped shots on the 10th and the 12th. The lead he enjoyed, the 4-stroke lead, has now been whittled down to 2 thanks to Michel Ortolani's birdie on the 12th. Ortolani dropped a shot on the 11th, but he's more than made up for it with the birdie on the 12th. And now he sits pretty at 9 under, 2 behind Veera Lawat's tournament tally of 11 under. And that comes to rest about 8 inches from the cup. Frustrating at times. He could have done with that ball finding the heart of the cup, but Lawat now has to attack the pin if he wants to increase this lead, because tomorrow is another long day. Ortolani lining up his ball.
So this truly international final group has 3 players. Veera Lawat leading the tournament at 1 over par. Michel Ortolani playing alongside him at even par, the player in view. And Koichiro Sato having made 2 birdies at 6 at 4 over par now. At one point in time, it slipped to 6. So the leader group, none of them under par. That stays agonizingly short for the Italian player. And the lead, of course, being whittled down to 2 shots, as Ashwin had mentioned. So it's anybody's tournament at this point in time. Of course, a 2-shot lead is still a cushion, nevertheless. But it's really exciting here, seeing Rohan Dhole Patil, local favorite, and Koichiro cleaning up for his par. Ravi Kumar also coming up the leaderboard, Angad Chima. So there are quite a few players who are making a run for it. But of course, the leaders are staying put where they are, moving towards the field, and the field is inching towards them. It's really exciting here at the CIDCO Open, presented by Larson and Toubro. This tournament being played at the Kharghar Valley Golf Course. And also a word for our associated partners, the Victorious Choice. Victorious Choice is an entity inspired by the philosophy of Choice International Limited. That has risen to become a unicorn in the financial sector with this unique and innovative approach of the joy of learning. And I'm pretty certain the players are also going through that joy of learning at this new event. And of course, currently, Veera Lawat is your victorious choice if you're a betting man. But of course, quite a few others coming through as well. It is promoted by Victorious Endeavours Private Limited. And we also have our tour partner, IndusInd Bank. IndusInd Bank Limited has been redefining banking for the past 30 years and has been a force for progression and innovation, offering an elevated banking experience. Gaurav Pratap Singh, with a lot of experience of his own when it comes to short game. Now this is seems to be a precarious shot here. The ball sitting down, Ashwin. He'll really need to get those hands under the ball if he's to get any purchase on it. It's going to require a lot of his ingenuity. He spends a lot of time practicing the short game. Oh, he was actually in the bunker, so not thought that would be lesser of the two evils. But the way he's looking at it, seems like it's not the easiest shot. So we're not quite certain what kind of lie he's drawn. But these long bunker shots, which are well with over 20-25 yards, these are some of the most difficult shots because you're not quite certain if you try and nip it or have a larger splash. So it requires a lot of precision here. Let's see if Gaurav Pratap Singh has nailed that, and that came out a little hot. Yeah, that tells you the peril of that shot. As I told you, anything over 25 yards, no matter how good you are, it's dangerous. And his lie was not too amiable either. You could tell a lot by the way that he was looking at. He looked a little concerned about the lie and ended up catching the ball first, and that scooted off like a rocket.
It's also interesting to note the thicket surrounding that particular bunker. We've got tufts of thick, long grass. If the ball gets caught up there, it can get even worse than being in a bunker.
Yeah, that's not the kind of fate that he would have wanted. Looks a little forlorn there, of course, because that is a compounding of errors. I think it's gone in the tank there.
Well, Gaurav Pratap Singh has this task cut out. Presently tied 20th, he is. He's at 2 drop double bogeys today.
Hole number 15, the par 4, measures at 326. So he'd not be too happy with that. He would have been looking at birdie, but now, he'd really have to work hard for his bogey. That's just the way that the game of golf is.
There have been 18 birdies here today, as against just 4 dropped shots on this hole. Hole number
Look at
15.
that. That is really tracking for Mari Muthuar, but looking like a cue ball, that golf ball. The way that he's lined it up, it looks like a cue ball and went end over end like one. So he'll have that to snook it in the corner pocket, so as to speak, 8 feet. Some of our other partners, Amrutanjan Electro Plus. Amrutanjan Healthcare Limited is a 127-year-old company with a rich legacy and best known for its iconic brand, Amrutanjan Pain Balm. A purpose-driven and innovative company, Amrutanjan Healthcare offers a versatile product portfolio. And currently in need for a little bit of that Amrutanjan Electro Plus is Gaurav Pratap Singh. He'd be hot under the collar knowing him. He doesn't take too kindly to mistakes, especially those that have been committed by his own self. So it's very hard on himself and has exacting standards. And that's one of the reasons that he's been a top 25 career money earner. Not quite certain if he has a shot from there. If he does, it would be almost akin to an escape from Alcatraz.
Some of these thickets I can see here remind me of golden greens. That's pretty much like what we have on that, what some people call a links course, which can't be because you need water to have a links course. But there's Gaurav Pratap Singh studying the position of his ball and having a quick chat to his caddy.
This could get gnarly when you get in there. There are a couple of thorns, the bush. So I think he's considering taking a drop, and I would think that is the prudent choice. You don't want to be compounding your errors here. So he'd be hitting his 4th from here. Let's hope that he can make an up and down and sort of limit the damage, so as to speak.
We might see the familiar figure of Sampachari walking up here, if at all he's near this hole.
So what you can see he's doing now, when your ball has gone into the hazard, you can take a drop, one club, but you can't get closer to the pin. So I'm assuming this is a red hazard. So you'll see that he's marking the spot where the ball, the intended drop spot, would not be nearer to the hole. That's really important.
It also has to afford you enough space to swing your club, at least to chip the ball onto the green. So you need to be very prudent when you're taking these drops. And the new, unlike what it was earlier where you had to drop it from a certain height, rules of golf are changing as fast as the game is.
There you saw Gaurav Pratap Singh.
And before Gaurav addresses this ball, I'd like to welcome back Mr. Shivas Nath to the commentary box while I go for my coffee break.
Well, a much deserved coffee, and that would be the last thing that would be on Gaurav's mind. He would be looking to make this one. Let's see what kind of drop, what kind of lie that he's gotten after his drop. That's also really important. I think the way he's looking, he's not quite happy with the lie he's drawn. So just seems to be getting from bad to worse. Of course, I'm being a little assumptive here. I let's hope that he's drawn a good lie, but that can happen because it was on the downhill and it ends up rolling down. The grass normally grows against you, so you can draw a sticky one. Yes, and that has indeed been the case. So this is what happens, as they say, when it rains, it pours. So this is one after the other. Now let's hope that he can make this putt, but in all eventuality, it seems that it's going to be putt and secure what would be a really good bogey. Let's have a look at some of the other scores. Yeah, Dipankar Kaushal, having had a very good first 2 days, he was 3 under after 2 days, but today has not been able to continue in the similar vein. He's 6 over par. This golf course really biting the players today, and quite a few of them finding it difficult.
Well, thanks for having me back, Ashwin. Thank you, Shaurya, for taking our viewers through. That was a much deserved and indeed a very welcome coffee break. And yes, a lot of action here and activity happening here at the CIDCO Open, presented by Larsen and Toubro, the Kharghar Valley Golf Course. Absolutely not disappointing all of us, and we've had a lot of viewers messaging us and checking on what exactly is this golf course, because of course it's a new one, very familiar to the Western India golfers, but not quite with yet with our viewers and our golfers across the country. So a lot of activity right there. The 15th hole taking its bite. It's a tricky little par 4, massive hazard behind the green. Green's a bit firm, massive green though. And yes, the trials and tribulations of the folks on the putting green continues. This is yet unknown territory, Shaurya. A lot of golfers still trying to familiarize themselves with the lay of the land, and the viewer is now on the 16th green, the par 5.
Yeah, and we just spoke about Dipankar Kaushal and his view on hole number 16 on the par 5. Let's hope that he can make amends and make a birdie there. That would provide some respite.
And while I've been away, Veer Alawat has come back a bit towards the field. He's at 11 under. And Michele Ortolani, the Italian stallion, as Shaurya references him, is at 9 under, snapping on his heels. And Subhash Tamang from Nepal at 8 under. And Rohan Dole Patil, the local boy from Pune, at 7 under. So it's becoming very interesting, Shaurya.
Yeah, I often wonder if you're pronouncing his name correctly because there doesn't seem to be an accent over the I or the C, but either ways, if it is correct, then of course you know that we are rarely wrong. But if it isn't, then Mr. Ortolani, our apologies for the same.
Ortolani.
Yeah. Yes, that is the correct way. As we have a look at MD Akbar Hussain. Let's just hope he doesn't make you an offer you can't refuse, Shivas.
Well, we know a guy who knows a guy who'll know the right name and the pronunciation. So as you can see, we're having a little bit of fun, and this is certainly going to bring our Italian friends a bit of a smile.
And that part went in. I was not quite certain from his reaction, but that is something that has been the common theme from about 6 feet and in. It's a little bit of guesswork for the players as far as getting the line correct. I think maybe the grass also in this part of the country, it's a little different. And as we venture out more and more to newer venues, you'll see that the players will get better. Variety, as I say, is the spice of life, and that's important even in sport. So they will get to play more venues, and that will end up in developing and honing their skills.
It's tremendous the way PGTI has added new venues onto the calendar in the last year and a half, and a tremendous spread of the game across the country. New venues, new golf courses, new sponsors, new corporations supporting the game. Look at this lovely visual. You have it there. That, by the way, is the ninth green that we had right at the start of our telecast. So not quite an island, but well, pretty much an island, whatever that's supposed to mean.
Yeah, the ninth, the par 3, measuring at 170 yards with a T in the foreground. And of course, water everywhere, and I'm pretty certain lots of it to drink as well, but would be the last thing on a player's mind to take a dip.
So there's the lovely, massive clubhouse that's also, being put up, and I think it'll be about a year and a half by the time it's fully up and about. And the Kharghar Valley Golf Course certainly, promising to be a tremendous venue, not just for professional golf, but even for club golfers and people to learn this game. Very accessible, a two-tier driving range about 300 yards long, about 150 yards wide. Fabulous short game area as well to boot. So they've got the whole package here, folks.
Yeah, coming to hole number 17. Rohan Dhole Patil, he's also definitely got the whole package going. He's 4 under par today, and he's firing on all cylinders. He's the local lad. He's spearheading the challenge. And,
this is again a strong par 3. It's 200 plus yards.
Seems to have hit a little long and left to a front right pin position. Was maybe trying to hit a fade. Not quite certain. And this flag would implore the players to play a left-right fade. As they say, a pin on the right-hand side. You want to work it from the center to the right now. So having a look at Dipankar on hole number 17. A very strong player physically. Hits the ball really hard. It's a strong hit on it. And a very streaky putter as well. Really good. At times able to hold a lot of putts. Not quite certain if he was able to make his birdie on the previous hole. Let's see how he does here.
Well, I see on the ticker tape that the yardage this week is 6,856 yards. So they've definitely shortened down a few holes to make it a less of an imposing beast. That's the clubhouse in the background, the one that's coming up. You saw just briefly on our screen on the top right.
Yeah, the bunker seems to have missed the green on the left-hand side as well. So it seems like the players are favoring that side and avoiding the sand trap.
It's the water. No, on the right of the sand trap is the water Shaurya, which most of our viewers aren't able to see. And that's the one that splits the 17th fairway or the par 3, and then the 18th is on the right of the 18th. So you definitely have to, the safe side is the left side.
And the players, normally you'd say the safe side is the right side, but of course not this time, ladies and gentlemen. The safe side is, of course, the wild side, the left side. As you see the players striding down. That is a beautiful graphic right there.
Oh, it's lovely. This course is lush, great fairways, flat tees, very well defined collars on the greens, and cuts on the rough. It's a very well manicured course. As I mentioned earlier, love to see more people from across the country and of course from the cities of Mumbai and Pune visiting this course.
Subhash Samang playing alongside Om Prakash Chauhan and Joshua Seal. Om Prakash Chauhan, of course, he's unmistakable. When you have a look at him, he's got that wonderful gait, very assertive and rather brisk as well. That the way he walks with purpose. He's the former number 1, played for an entire season on the DP World Tour. Also a winner of a challenge tour. I think it's the Hotel Planet Tour now, 2 years ago at KGA. So a stellar player based out of Mau, and is third on the all-time money earning list. So it's a good shot by Koichiro Sada. So you know that he's made a lot of currency playing the game, came from humble backgrounds, and then has been one of the most consistent players, and along with victories and accolades, has also made a lot of money.
So this par 5 14th hole, on which we finally have a great visual. It's a very interesting hole. Look at the backdrop, Shaurya. It's like you're up at a golf resort, and this is a very interesting green. It has a spine right in the center that runs across left to right, and it's massive green, and anything that lands in the front stays in the front, and anything that lands on the north side of the spine runs through the back. And that's very interesting in terms of whether you're hitting this par 5 and 2 and getting after it, in which case you mostly end up behind the green, and there's plenty of room there. But if you're hitting a wedge in, it makes you think a lot.
Yeah, that's something that has appeared to happen to Veer. He was over the green, and you saw his chip shot come about good 7 or 8 feet short. These are not the easiest of shots when you overshoot a green, because you're into the green, as you saw Gaurav Pratap Singh there on the playing hole number 15. These are very difficult shots because you really need to utilize the bounce of the club and be aggressive and ensure that you don't decelerate. So those are a lot of variables to look into, and probably that's one of the reasons that you see Mr. Ortolani take out the putter. It seems like the more consistent choice coming out of the apron.
Oh, for sure, for sure. At this point, that's definitely a great choice. And again, as we mentioned, it's the lines and the newness of this course and the lack of familiarity that's actually making things a little interesting. So the bunker that we saw on the right side of our screen, which is of course on the left of the green, is actually a very friendly bunker, I must tell you. Because if you miss the green on the left, you want to be in that bunker, otherwise it drops down 30 feet to the left. So that's a very friendly bunker in my opinion.
Well, that's probably the first time you'll hear the word friendly and a bunker in the same sentence. But of course, that there is such a thing when you're playing professional golf. As you say, you got to choose between the devil and the deep blue sea. So the bunker, of course, is a little bit of a reprieve. And you're talking about familiarity. This golf course is one that players are not too familiar with, and in this case, we'd have to go against the heard saying, familiarity breeds contempt, but not in this case. Familiarity helps you to understand this golf course.
Oh yes, very intellectually stimulating golf course, if I may say. And this hole in particular, if you get after it in 2, good on you. You're hitting from a flat lie. But if you choose to lay up and play it as a 3-shot hole, nothing wrong with that. But the spot from where you're going to be hitting your wedges in from about 80 to 120 yards, a lot of movement and undulations.
Now this part, maybe all of 10 feet. I'm not even going to try and guess which way this is going to break. Let's see if Veer has been able to solve the Rubik's Cube. And not this time. So that goes a begging. And he would make a bogey. So that's an update, sir.
So he's backing up towards the field. And what do we have Ortolani putting for? Because now Veer's got backed up to 10 under and Ortolani's at 9. So was he 2 in the greenside bunker and now putting for birdie?
As you have a look at
Sato.
Koichiro Sato. And holding that putt. What appears to be a birdie. Yes, you can see that blue birdie. So a red number for Koichiro Sato.
Well, it's good for Sato to make a couple of birdies coming in because he did have a horrific front 9. It was really heartening, Shaurya, to see the amount of, oh boy, Ortolani misses that. So, yes, coming back to what I was saying, Shaurya, it's heartening to see the amount of international young players coming out to ply their trade in India, play the PGTI, play some other Asian events as well, and give themselves a lot of global exposure. I think that's just an awesome approach because it really allows them to grow as golfers and, very importantly, as individuals as well.
What a great shot! But he looks tired. And that's a drinks break.
But what's the plus sign for? अमृतांजन इलेक्ट्रो प्लस। जब लगे थकान वाली प्यास, जरूरी है सेल लेवल हाइड्रेशन। इसके इलेक्ट्रोलाइट्स आपके सेल्स को रिहाइड्रेट करें, एनर्जी लौटाएं, थकान वाली प्यास मिटाएं।
जब आपको भी लगे थकान वाली प्यास, अमृतांजन इलेक्ट्रो प्लस, थकान वाली प्यास के लिए।
The sun also shines at night. We built the world's largest solar power plant in the Andaman Islands. We are also lighting up the future by opening new avenues for green energy. For over 80 years, we have been creating happier, brighter tomorrows. 8 decades of trust. Larsen & Toubro.
पढ़ता है, खेलता है, झूलता उछलता है, दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है, आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया, अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया।
Back to the live action, and of course, our very, very gorgeous surrounds, nice, gentle movements, some beautiful hills, very Christmas style fir trees. It's an absolute delight to be here. And this is the strong 18th hole. The hill that you see at the back is where the tee sits at the top. And a very strong hole indeed, very unusual, as my colleague Ashwin was mentioning, that for the members on the scorecard, this is a stroke index too. So a lot of action and a little bit of gambling issues when you have to settle your bets and you have a stroke on the last hole and you take a bye.
Yes, and a hole like this would require a lot of strength. And of course, how do you get that strength? By dipping into Amul butter. Amul, powering the PGTI Surge store partner, and it's India's largest food brand and the 8th largest dairy company globally. The iconic brand Amul has helped the country emerge as the world's largest milk producer. Amul, being a household name in India, will play a pivotal role as a tour partner in enhancing the PGTI's brand presence and also making our players stronger. The milk, the butter, and cheese. You need a lot of that if you want to hit the ball a mile, and I'm pretty certain that they're doing that. And also, another thing that you require to be a great player is you have to be adamant. And what they say in Hindi, zid. So that is what Kampa is. Kampa zid.
It's a bit of activity here, Shaurya. On the left of the 18 green, there's a big, I wouldn't call it a hazard, it's a rocky penalty area. And, it seems that there's a bit of activity. A couple of golf balls have been overcooked and ended up on the not. And it's a big miss, I might add, because that particular area on the left of the green, there's about 20 yards before the cart path, which you see lined with the green color curb. And then this, unless, of course, it landed on the cart path and it's taken a big bounce. But this is going to be interesting.
Well, not for the player, but for the viewers, definitely. He finds himself in a rocky setting. It's going to be a difficult one for Om Prakash Chauhan, but I guess if anybody can do it, he can.
He's got the experience, he's got the skill, and he can banana one. We also have Joshua Seal on our screen. Just watching and overseeing what's happening. And I think that's what Subhash Tamang also in the red shirt on our screen now, making his way up to the green.
Yeah, he's Subhash Tamang right there, having a blistering day. He's playing really well, putting the heat on the leaders. The leader up, he's 5 under, the pride of Nepal, Subhash. And as Om Prakash contemplates his choices, we'd like to tell you about Kampa. Kampa powers your Zid. Kampa, the spark behind every Zid. Fuel your Zid with Kampa. So Kampa is it's revived that iconic brand. And
it's so good to see that brand back because a lot of us have wonderful childhood memories, Shaurya, with Campa Cola.
Yes, and Kampa's fizz that fires you up. And
then, of course, since we're talking about the good stuff, the food, the drink, we can't leave out our tour partners, Victoria's Choice. The tremendous players lounge. And where has OP hit that ball? He did have a go at it.
That did get airborne. So one of the first issues was taken care of. That the ball did take flight,
and get out of the penalty area.
No, that we don't quite know, to be honest. Let's just have a look.
But anyway, back to Victoria's Choice. Tremendous player hospitality lounges and amazing selection of good food and beverages, breakfast and lunch for the players and their families, and that's been a huge addition to the PGTI events this year. Great job, Team Victoria's Choice and our good friend Rahul Mehta.
And Om Prakash also has
the airmail of the green. The bunkers on the other side.
What you really like is that walk with purpose. And of course, his flowing mane, it's quite the stylish hairstyle as well. Does Om Prakash have?
On the right side of the screen, of course, you have the 15th hole, the short par 4. And do we see another big bludgeoning drive, not just on the green, but just a touch over the back?
Om Prakash. think all things considered was not too bad.
No, he's done very well to end up wherever he has, because getting bat on ball from that rocky penalty area is no easy task.
Yeah, being able to extricate himself to over the screen now. But the only drawback here is now this is a difficult shot from that downhill bunker.
And another one on live feed 2, finding its way over the green. And I say that one is in trouble. Live feed 2, the drive has not just gone over the green, but I suspect it's gone to the hazard at the back. That may have been just too long.
Om Prakash, also a very good practitioner of the bunker shot. Now this one with feet down will have a lot of roll on it. You can see that how steep that embankment is. Om Prakash puts a lot of spin on the bunker shots.
That looks nice. Come on. Hit it tight, hit it close, stop. Great effort, Shaurya. Good call there.
By you. You were able to make the ball stop on your command, and I think Om Prakash Chauhan will definitely be happy.
Well, why is it, Shaurya, that it's only your co-players or your friends' golf balls that listen to you, and never your own golf ball that listens to you when you command?
Well, especially if it's important. I think it normally listens the second time. The second time it often listens to you. Hit a bad shot, put a ball down, and you'll often find that the second one is perfect. So that's been the theme of golf.
So that hillock at the back you see, and the construction, that is the CIDCO guest house I was referring to a couple of hours ago when we had our cameras on the par 3 11th.
If I may dare call it the Eagle's Nest.
They might pick that name, and you might have charged them a bit of royalty.
Oh, well, that name has a historical connotation which not everybody likes. But anyways, let's have a look at Joshua Seal.
Speaking of Eagle's Nest, that's what the BPGC rooms on the right of the 15th fairway used to be called back in the day. The residential area, the Eagle's Nest.
Joshua with a little bit of work there with a 3.5 footer. Nice. A little concerned about something there on his putt. I think a lot of players find it difficult to get the correct line. Obviously not Subhash, who is been on the money.
Well, the young man's put together a terrific round today. He is 5 under for the day, and I believe he has an opportunity to get to 6 under.
We'd also like to talk about Rolex, the privilege association between the Rolex brand and the Professional Golf Tour of India. This putt for Subhash should work like clockwork, like the exquisite clockwork that Rolex is famous for. Should break to his
right
left.
to left, yes, right to left. You're right.
That looks really good. That looks really good.
Boom!
And he walked it in. Now that is
it was awesome.
that
That's a
is
great
confidence.
visual, Shaurya.
That reminds me a little bit of Kevin Na. He really did walk it in, and that tells you that here's a man who is under control. That ball, he has that ball on a string, and he's moved to 6 under.
That's all right. He just knew he had hit a good one and knew it was just going to tip in at the end.
Moves to 9
That
under.
was a great
par.
visual. And now he's right there. Just a shot behind our leader, Veer Alawat. Tied for second. Joshua Seal.
Oh,
No.
that we've seen players struggle from this range, and Joshua didn't take much time on that. He was very certain of the line, but that didn't quite work out for him. Rolex, the association between golf and Rolex dates back to 1967 when Arnold Palmer became the Rolex testimony. Arnie's army. You often miss the swashbuckling, stylish Arnold Palmer. As you have a look at Om Prakash Chauhan.
For bogey, yes. Very important putt. Well done. No mistake there. That's a great up and down he's made there, Shaurya. From that where he was lying in 2 to make a bogey. Great effort.
Today, Rolex is not only associated with the most important and prominent bodies governing golf, but also with the principal professional tours, including our very own Professional Golf Tour of India. His choice to partner with the sport is a logical one. Flawless timing, precision, and control are distinctive hallmarks of both a Rolex timepiece and the performances of great golfers. And today, somebody who's playing like a Rolex testimony is Subhash Tamang. He's really timing this round to perfection. He's 6 under par for the day. As we have a look at Veer Alawat, will have to correct his timing because his back nine is definitely not gone the way that he would have wanted.
Well, he does have a birdie opportunity here, Shaurya, because this is the par 4 and playing downwind where he's driven it through just a touch through the green. So I believe that's left for birdie, but a bit of activity here. As we saw earlier on live feed too, Ortolani's ball going through the green and into the hazard behind the green. So we have a bit of activity to see where Ortolani... Oh, no, sorry, it's not Ortolani's ball. It's like Sato's ball that's gone through the green, to the back of the green and into the hazard. There you see, he's going through the process. He's going to drop his drop his club, look at his point of entry and play his third shot from there.
A similar location to where Gaurav Pratap was.
We have an interested spectator there to see what's happening with that ruling, Shaurya.
Yeah, it's seen it all. Flora and fauna.
Well, speaking of flora and fauna, last week at the Delhi Golf Club was a delight, wasn't it? The flora, the fauna. And unless, of course, you won the Jharis, then it's a different conversation altogether. Well, this is an interesting, place. But that said and done, I wouldn't rule out the opportunity that he actually chips and makes a birdie. I've seen it happen on this hole before.
Given the fact, now let's have a look at this putt by the Italian. Well, I'll just put you on the spot soon enough. Look at that, the way that is.
It's a great read, I'll tell you that.
Turning and just beautifully
not enough
judged.
pace. Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say that I'm going to put you on the spot. You play at a club with so much wildlife, and by now you should have become somewhat of an ornithologist. So you've got to tell me what bird was that exactly? Pelican? Or what is my knowledge of the same is very perfunctory and limited.
Well, I'm just going to say it was a bird very interested in golf rules because it's watching intently.
So, Shivas knows how to play it safe. And,
that was an absolute layup. Clear layup.
And so here... it appears to be that this is where all the action is. Koichiro Sato.
It's also very good, Shaurya, something for the club golfers to see that, while the rulings are being given out, they're happy to play out of turn to keep things moving along and not lose much time, and pace of play is maintained.
Yes, pace of play is essential. And, the tour... the worldwide bodies have made a conscious push to work towards faster golf, and that's something that all the players like, and especially the viewers, and towards the endeavor of fast golf. Now we call our co-commentator Ashwin as we have a look at this shot. He's taken quite the swipe at it. That needs to steady now. Was an aggressive shot, and I think that was a requirement based on the lie. But nevertheless, I'll hand over the mantle to Ashwin.
Welcome back, Ashwin. And as you can see, things getting very interesting in our third round here at the CIDCO Open at Kharghar Valley Golf Course.
Thank you, Shivas, and thank you, Shaurya. Koichiro Sato, who is on a screen right now, has not had a great front nine, but he's more than made up on his back nine. He's got 3 birdies. He's covering up. Not really. He's still 3 shots behind where he would like to be. But he's 3 over for the day.
No, it's a good comeback because he did have a 5 over front nine and a double bogey on the treacherous 6th hole, followed by a couple bogeys after, and he had a bogey before. So it's nice to see him. But here, it's a bit of a bad break. Ashwin, he did actually had a terrific drive. It's a par 4. And he actually drove it over the green into the hazard at the back, had to take a penalty drop, and now he's played 3. And, as we saw, it's pretty quick coming down from the back of the green. And now he does have, I think, about 15 feet to save par. But I love the mentality, Ashwin, of all these players. They just get after it. They don't double guess anything.
That looks like a slightly wide stance for a putting stance. What do you have to say about that?
Again, I'm going to laugh at this one because we were just earlier talking about some of the bigger players and the shorter players, and he's, of course, amongst the shorter side. So I think he's taking his center of gravity lesson very seriously.
So true. That's a straddling technique of Veer Alawat. Alawat is now just one shot ahead of Subhash Tamang of Nepal, and Michel Ortolani. After having enjoyed a 4-stroke lead, he has slipped to just one shot ahead of his challengers, and that's thanks to the 5 dropped shots he's had today. 3 on the back 9.
Yes, in fact, 3 in the last 5 holes, but this is a birdie opportunity. So let's hope he makes this one. Oh boy.
That just kissed the lip of the cup and moved away.
Not a good read or a good stroke, because that was certainly an opportunity that's gonna miss.
We were talking about the 18th hole earlier, and we're talking about what if this tournament goes into a playoff on the 18th.
Yes.
How do you think that's going to play out, so to speak?
Well, the 18th hole is actually a very interesting hole. From memory, I know it's about a 450-yard hole. The tee is set up halfway up the hills, and the couple of fairway bunkers, one on the right side, one on the left. And that seemed like a lovely birdie by Orani. So that brings him up to tie Alawat now at 10 under. Things are getting hot, Ashwin.
So true, and we're talking about moving on to the 18th hole for a playoff tomorrow. Let's see if that works.
Could be these two gentlemen. So yes, back to your 18th hole. It's a strong par 4, and there's a bunker on the right of the fairway and one on the left, and it's a very wide open fairway. So, and then there's, of course, a drain or more of a channel, which is about almost 310 off the tee. So if that hole is playing a bit downwind, you could get a driver very close to that. Now we have a visual on that. We just see a part of it, but it runs across the fairway. And then it's about a 7-iron or an 8-iron for most of the guys hitting into this green pin position will play a role. So birdie wins it. It's a wide open fairway, as you can see. So birdie is what's going to win it in a playoff. It's likely not going to be a par.
And it's also a brilliant hole for TV. Just look at the scenic background.
Oh, it's this entire golf course is it's been quite I would say a surprise commodity for most of our viewers, most of our professionals, and I can't imagine anyone walking off this golf course and not wanting to come back for more.
A longish putt, and well, he's trickled down to about 3.5 feet beyond the cup.
Yeah, certainly a bit of a misread. He doesn't seem to be too happy with what's happened after his efforts to understand what will happen. But back to what we were talking about, this is definitely a destination course, and it's definitely going to be amongst the strongest courses in Western India. And we were talking a little bit earlier about Oxford golf course, which it reminds us of. But let's spare a thought for the other gem in that region, Ambi Valley, another tremendous layout that's set between the hills.
It's remarkable to see how golf has developed in India. Manoj S. on your screen. Manoj is now tied 11th. He's had a mixed bag of a round. He's had 2 double bogeys in his outward journey. Well, an eagle on his return journey. This took place on the par 5 14th.
Manoj is another young player from hills from Bangalore. KG, I believe, is his home course, and another tremendous talent. He's had a good season, I would say.
He misses that a little to the right. KG reminds me, I used to have a very dear friend called S. Madhaya, who played years ago. He and Muniappa were a team, as in they practiced together, they played together. Madhaya, unfortunately, passed away in a car accident. But what a talent he was.
I'm sorry to hear that. And, speaking of, golf losing talent, we had a lovely young man who passed away last week, I beg your pardon, Hardik Chawda from Hyderabad Golf Association, 25-year-old. It's harsh. These things are just inexplicable, Ashwin. Heartbreaking, actually. So speaking about, this 14th hole that we were talking about, it's given up quite a few eagles today. I believe there have been about 5 or 6 of them.
5, and there have been 2 double bogeys as well.
Yes, indeed.
That's strange, isn't it?
Well, sort of a risk and reward hole, because it's just kind of a zigzag line off the tee, as the fairways roll with 2 deep penalty areas. So it's something you have to pick your battles, and the lie that you draw after your tee shot actually plays a big role in deciding which side of the battlefield you want to attack from. This one's probably about a bit of right in. It's not going to move a whole lot.
I don't know if that's an optical illusion, but I see his ball placed closer to his left foot. Or is it just the angle of the camera?
Probably the camera angle. He's just made it. That's an important one. Big cheer, two fist pumps, flurry of fist pumps. Well done.
Interesting looking leaderboard there. Veer Alawat and Michelle Ortolani leading at 10 under apiece. The Italian has sidled up to the Indian. And we have Subhash Tamang of the Himalayan Kingdom at third place, sole third position at 9 under.
Subhash Tamang doing well on this course is something that doesn't surprise me at all, because having grown up and played most of his golf in Nepal and Kathmandu, where most of the golf courses have a lot of these elevation changes, this would definitely be something he'd be fairly good at.
One question I have of you once this putt gets drained.
That's it. Well done. Banged it in.
Mm-hmm. So what's the wind factor like on this golf course? It doesn't seem to have too much of a wind factor. The flag isn't fluttering one bit, but does it play a major role?
Ashwin, I have to tell you that the wind is the scariest part on this golf. Conditions have been fairly benign, and it's still a very hard course with the distances you actually have to hit it, and the way some of the greens are, they're large greens. But the day the wind is up, and because you're up in the hills, there's elevation changes, and the wind, the trees, which are lovely but still not big enough to impact the wind, this can be an absolute monster of a course. A lot of crosswinds. And there are a lot of par fours also, where you have a 250-yard carry, 265-yard carry off the tee to make it across, and that also changes your approach towards the way you're going to play the hole.
True.
So there's a lot of variables that the wind creates on this hole.
That's the final par 3 of the back nine and of the round, of course, the par 3 17.
Incidentally, I also rate this as the hardest par 3 on this course, by the way.
And why is that?
It's a bit of an elevated tee. It's about 215 to 220 yards. Not always a crosswind, but there's a water channel on the right. And
I don't think that's really affected him.
Not in the least. Well, sometimes we have a commentator's curse. They seem like a commentator's boon, right?
So true.
So, anyway, that's the difference between amateur commentators. Amateurs who are professional commentators and professional golfers.
What a shot. What an outstanding shot that was.
Indeed. So, yes, the safer side on this.
That's fantastic image.
Yes,
what a beautiful golf course.
That's the left side. That's actually the ninth green. And then that water body that's only lovely to admire. Not so when you are flirting with danger.
Tell me about it. I've had my share of grief with water bodies.
And then, of course, at the top of our screen, we see the temporary clubhouse where they have the F&B facility and the golf operations running out of there. And then, of course, beyond that on our screen, what we don't see is the main road. This course, I have to tell you, Ashwin, and to all our viewers, it's a gem. It's an absolute gem, and I encourage all of you to go out there and give it a whirl.
I've never seen two water bodies bordering each other on a golf course. That looks like the case here.
It does. Very interesting. Now that you mention that, I have to confess I haven't either. A few hits and misses. Looks like today there'll be a few more misses than hits, actually. But these guys, on the green, Ashwin, have really struggled to, read their lines and figure things out.
Well, this is the first tournament being played here, so I'm sure they'll get a hang of it sooner than later. It's a what a putt.
Yes, indeed. And what I particularly, enjoy, Ashwin, about this course is its driving range and practice facilities, and it's a public course, of course. So, we, PGTI, all of us encourage all our viewers to come out here, enjoy the game, learn the game. It's a terrific day out, I can assure you. The backdrop is visible to all of you. What more would you want? to get away from Mumbai or Pune to learn this beautiful game of golf.
Few hits and misses, as you can see.
And we see Rohan Dhole Patil, of course, with the birdie on the finale. He's joined the top of the leaderboard. So with a eagle on the 16th and a birdie on the 18th, this young man has shot a 4 under back nine, on which he's also had 2 bogeys on the 10th and the 13th. And he's charged all the way to 10 under par. So bring it on, Rohan. Well done. Good work.
What a round. What a round. And
7 under for today.
Veera Lawat did something similar to Yuvraj Sandhu.
Yes, he did.
2
a
weeks
few
ago.
Yes.
Now we see somebody coming from far behind to sidle up alongside him.
But that's got to be one heck of a back nine. 5 birdies, 1 eagle, 2 bogeys for a 4 under back nine. And of course, he did have a 3 under front nine with 3 simple birdies as well.
And 7 under. That's probably
That's the
best
course
round.
record right there. That is the course record, ladies and gentlemen. Rohan Dhole Patil from Pune. 64. I didn't see that coming, Ashwin, did you?
No, not from anywhere. I had our eyes focused on Orchalani, Tamang, and of course Alawat. But there we go. There's always a surprise package in the offing.
You know, Rohan, someone that I've known from his junior golf days, and he's a very aggressive, momentum-driven player. So it'll be good to see him do well this week. Well, this putt got the line right, but
No
not
legs.
really the speed. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, indeed. As we say in colloquial Mumbai, marega kaun.
A course like this obviously ups the quality of viewership because it's so scenic. I'm sure the scenery itself entices a whole bunch of people, will entice a whole bunch of people to come up and attempt to play the sport of golf, which is probably the best game invented by man.
So the big question here is, did Subhash Tamang put a 65 out before Rohan Dhole Patil brought in a 64? Because if he did, then he would still have a tie for the course record officially just for a brief period. Or if he missed out and Rohan holed out first, then that's Rohan's altogether.
This reminds me of the Hero Golf Open in Chandigarh way back in 2004. I was doing a press release and one of the golfers brought in a 4 under. So I'd prepared my release and kept it ready. Then the next 3 ball brought in a 5 under. So I changed my release. Next one was a 6 under. And the next one was a 7 under. 4 consecutive 4 balls. And there I was working right into the middle of the night.
Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. So did that release get released eventually, Yashwin?
It did finally, a little later than needed, but it was done.
Fabulous.
And Rafiq Ali was one of the offenders. I mean, he came out with an outstanding round of golf. If I'm not mistaken, he's the one who finished atop round 3.
Yes, that was a good generation with the Ali brothers. There was Rafiq and Feroz and a whole bunch of these lads coming out of Calcutta, the RCGC, the Ali generation.
Oh, as close as it gets.
That was a nice stroke. And there was Yusuf Ali as well. I remember Yusuf as well, more my age, and that's where he's
Yusuf
at now.
passed away.
Oh, he did? I'm so
Yes,
sorry
he
to
did.
hear that.
I think he did.
I remember he used to also caddy in the early days for my good friend Vivek Bhandari.
Mm-hmm.
And they had this joke going, they used to not call him Yusuf, he used to call him Yufus.
Another interesting
Sad-
story.
Sorry to hear that, of course.
Another interesting story. Of course, I've recited this in previous commentary stints, but at the Gindi golf course, Rizwan Ali, the oldest of one of the group of Ali brothers, missed the cut. And Rafiq Ali went on to win the tournament. So Rafiq made 1.62 lakhs. Rizwan came back with a 5 lakh check from the race course.
That is interesting. But it's very sad now that you mentioned Gindi to learn that they've actually shut that golf course down, Ashwin.
That's really sad.
It's tragic. It's really tragic. And now all that's left in Chennai, which of course has a rich history in golf, is the Cosmopolitan.
That's
TNGF.
strange. Yeah, that's strange. A city like Chennai, which is so sport loving, has just one golf course.
It's really terrible.
I'm
Shouldn't
shuddering
tell.
to think of the traffic on that golf course.
Yes, yes, for sure. And that doesn't also augur well for the growth of sport, when facilities that have a lot of history, in fact, facilities should be added, if I may say, not taken away from sports loving people.
The wind played a crazy role on that Gindi golf course.
Oh, yes, you're right. Well done, Dhruv. Not one of the finest days, of course, for young Dhruv, but, well, he's still out there. He sits at 10th place, at 3 under for the championship.
I'm sorry, sir. My mistake.
पर हम भी जिद्दी है मुश्किल खड़ी है खोले सीना सामने एक चट्टान है मेरी जिद का बोले पसीना चट्टानों के अंदर आसमान है जिद क्या पावाली जिद क्या पावाली जिद क्या पावाली जिद
A vision shaping world-class cities. Creating a global gateway for tomorrow. Delivering efficient urban mobility. Empowering the next generation. Building infrastructure that drives growth. Creating vibrant and livable communities. CIDCO. Transforming vision into reality.
पढ़ता है खेलता है झूलता उछलता है दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया
Back to the live action at the Kharghar Valley Golf Course. A quick shout out to CIDCO, who built this course. CIDCO, of course, is an acronym for the City and Industrial Development Corporation of Maharashtra. And a shout out to Larsen and Toubro for presenting this event and supporting sport.
That's the 16th hole now. The par 5, the last of the par 5s in this majestic course. And Veer Alawat is descending upon it with a straddling technique on the green again. Veer will want to nudge ahead of the leaders. He enjoyed a 4-stroke lead at the start of the day, which has now been whittled down to a 0-stroke lead. He's now tied with 2 other golfers for the lead at 10 under, with just one man, with Subhash Tamang breathing just 1 stroke behind the lot at 9 under. So there's a lot to overcome now, and attack is the best form of defense. Veer Alawat will have to nudge ahead if he wants to make an impact and leave himself with a cushion to work on tomorrow.
Another young man moving up the leaderboard, which I absolutely like, is Angad Chima. He's delivered a solid back 9 and nudged his way up to 5 under, also for the tournament. But, that said and done, as you said, the action really seems to be amongst the top 4 or 5, but there's a group lurking behind it with, 5 under, 6 under for the tournaments and a bunch at 4 under as well. So some good scoring here this week.
Quick word of praise for Chiranjit Yadav, who's now on his back 9. He's at 3 birdies and an eagle. He's sitting at 5 under for the day.
That's some very interesting, streaky players. So, it only comes back to the fact that, if you can place your ball correctly on the back 9, then you're hitting some nice wedges into the green, which is very different from the front 9 where, it just plays longer, and it's between you and me, in my opinion, it's the stronger of the 2 9s. Well, the 16th hole, Michel Ortolani. I believe that's a birdie opportunity from about 7-8 feet away. Make this and give himself a go at it. Oh, he's missed that, Ashwin. That is, well, I wouldn't say it's costly, but it would have put him into the solo lead.
Day of hits and misses. We've had 5 eagles on the par 5 14th. 5 eagles. I don't know when that last happened in a golf tournament on one single day.
That being said and done, that is actually that whole, that it is the way it is set up in terms of risk, reward, and strategy, because you drive it to a spot, which is usually a 3-wood or a hybrid for the professional golfers, which is the flat portion of the fairway before it starts dropping off and gets a bit downhill. And then there's another penalty area ahead of that. So that's really the perfect spot. Now from there, you got to fly it over two, I would say, penalty areas, about 220, 230, to get it to the green, the large 14 green, which actually has a bit of, a bailout area behind the green. So if you can get that right, you can be on the green in two, fairly close. But if you get any of that slightly off, you're looking at a number.
Wow. That's the 18th that we were talking about, and that's Manu Gandas setting up.
Oh yes, this boy has a very pleasing, disposition, approach towards the game. So yes, to finish that part of the conversation off, the guys who made 7 on that par 5 are the guys who are trying to make 3s.
Manu Gandas sitting at 6 under for the tournament thus far, playing to par today after having returned 2 back-to-back rounds of 68. This is a par 71 course, so 3 under 68 on day 1 and day 2 for him.
Oh yes, he seems to have really given that everything.
Unable to figure where that ball landed.
Oh no, he's about. I think he's about a 7 or an 8 iron away from the green. I did catch a quick visual of that. He's about 25 to 30 yards short of the water channel, which really isn't in play unless you get a really ridiculously good bounce or catch a driver downwind and all your stars align. He's taking his time over that one. Nice and slow, and let's go. Yep, seems to have hit that pretty solid. That backdrop we were talking about, Ashwin, it's absolutely spectacular, isn't it?
Spectacular is an understatement. It's such a beautiful golf course. What a facility. I'm glad to hear it's a public golf course.
Yes,
So-
yes, indeed. And of course, in Delhi as well, DDA, I think, set the ball rolling with a gorgeous Qutub golf course. And now there's the second one, the one in Dwarka. Has that open for public play, Ashwin, yet?
13 holes, yes. So you can play 13 and the balance 5.
It's so heartening to see, the government, the government agencies, putting their weight behind this beautiful game and creating infrastructure.
Much before the Qutub golf course came up, there was the Siri Fort chip and putt, or pitch and putt, as you would call it,
Yes.
which was very engaging. I don't know if it still exists.
It does. My old friend Rakesh Dayal, I think, see some of his videos on Instagram taking out beginners. And, I think it all adds up, at every level, based on age and skill, to give people a chance to learn this game. They also have a lovely driving range there at the City Fort as well. They also have some lovely badminton courts and squash courts in that same arena.
It's a great sports complex. Siri
Yes,
Fort.
indeed.
And not to forget the cricket ground with nets at the background.
Well, now that's something I didn't know. So it's, something that I think should also be very well advertised and, put out there.
What a shot.
Solid shot from Veer Lawat. He has a lovely towering ball flight, doesn't he? Tall lad, syrupy smooth swing, and a beautiful angle of descent from his ball flight. And then, of course, now we have Sato on our screen. A young man who's had a mixed bag between the front nine and the back.
He dropped a shot on the 16th. Or was it the 15th? Sorry.
It was the 15th where he drove it through the back of the green. And that was unfortunate because he had just come off 3 birdies in the previous 4 holes.
Smooth swing, Sato, low center of gravity, as we just mentioned.
Yes, absolutely. So there we have it. He gives it a heave ho. Looks a bit on the left side. Yes, indeed it is. Is it shot of the bunker? No, he's going to be chipping from there. And yes, let's see what he's got. And of course, as we size up the action on the 17th and the 18th with the final groups, I'm going to welcome my good friend Shaurya Singh back into the commentary box to take you away with his very energized style of conversation.
Welcome, Shaurya. Manugandas walking up as this day 3 comes to a close. We're having an exciting looking leaderboard.
Well, thank you for that, Shivas. I think I would say my energized style of conversation is definitely a second to Rohan Dhole Patil's energized style of golf today. He's been exemplary, commendable effort by him, 7 under par, keeping the hearts beating here for everyone in Maharashtra, supporting their homegrown player, Rohan Dhole Patil, 7 under par. Really coming along well today as you have a look at hole number 18.
So Manugandas and his fellow golfers sauntering up to the green.
Rondole Patil, 7 under par today. What a round. And Michelle Ortolani, 1 under par, leading alongside. And Veer Lawat, who's been in blue today, 2 over par and 10 under par for the tournament. So it is a trio on top, followed by Subhash Tamang, who's played really beautifully as well today for his 6 under par. And it's been a resounding success thus far.
The picturesque 18th green. Wind is picking up slightly, as you can see, the flag fluttering off and on.
Yeah, this golf course has indeed been one where the players have enjoyed the conditions. The work. What a beautiful, immaculate setup they provided for all the players on the Professional Golf Tour of India. And also my congratulations to the Professional Golf Tour of India and CIDCO for making this dream happen. As you have a look at Dhruv Sharon on hole in number 18, what appears to be maybe about 25 feet uphill on this beautiful finishing hole. This tournament is worth 1 crore with over 15 lakh going to the winner. Currently being led by Rohan Dhole Patil.
Setup is half the job done.
And let's see how this putt works out. I reckon this should be close, and that's a really good effort. He's finally dialed down the speed and dialed in rather. And that was a good putt by Dhruv.
That's the Cisco Open 2025 presented by Larsen and Tubro, live from the Kharghar Valley Golf Course, which is making its debut on the PGTI calendar. And what a debut it's been.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic debut event thus far, especially a moving day that has delivered on every aspect. We've seen some really low numbers. We've also seen a couple of hole-in-ones this week. So we've had it all. He had a hole-in-one by Dipankar Kaushal and Mani Ram. So the pair would also be getting a certain amount of prize money for those hole-in-ones. So that's a great reward. You make an eagle and you get some money as well as you have a look at Veer. And there's also a sort of a memento they can keep. And that's a great memory for these players as we have a look at Manu Gandas, who had that brilliant season where he had 6 victories already with a lot of rich experience having played on the DP World Tour. This year, the Order of Merit Championship was keenly contested, but it's already been won by Yuvraj Sandhu with 1 crore 61 lakh and 67,000, and he has another bite of the cherry, kind courtesy the final event.
The fact that he leads the second ranked golfer by over 50 lakhs in prize money goes to show the dominance he has displayed.
A brilliant putt right there in the heart of the hole. Finally, we're seeing some good 10 footers going in. Maybe the players are now getting acquainted with these greens and understanding the lines a lot better as they have a look at Divyanshu. Yes, you're right. That's a handsome lead that he has. So obviously, it's a foregone conclusion. And Thangaraja from Sri Lanka, second position. Shaurya Bhattacharya, Arjun Prasad, Manugandas at fifth position. Jamal Hussain from Bangladesh, Udyan Mane, Angad Chima, Om Prakash Chauhan, and then in 10th position is Abhinav Lohan, the very experienced Lohan. He's also using some variation of the claw grip, the pincer-like grip, and just missing it on the lower side. Divyanshu, the golfer based out of Kolkata, the city of joy.
And that's the group shaking hands and walking into the sunset as the leader group saunters on to the 18th tee box.
It's been a brilliant week. Revitalizing for the players. And they're not quite certain. I'm not going to take a guess. Let's just maybe call it a crane or a pelican. I don't know what that is. So
Isn't that a stock?
Well, you know better. I think it's please take the lead. I don't want to be airing too much.
No, I'm
But,
as ignorant as you. If you insist you're ignorant, I'm worse.
But I think somebody has to tell the bird that you have to repair your divots. Golfing etiquette demands that you repair your divots and pitch marks, and that's something that we would implore all the weekend warriors to do. You play golf, but as the great Bobby Jones used to say, you leave the golf course in a better shape than what you found it. Instead of one, repair 2 pitch marks. And of course, in the foreground is Electro Plus. If you ever get tired, you know where to look. Electro Plus. It'll revitalize you with all the vital minerals and salts and so on and so forth. And you'll have a wonderful round of golf. We don't promise any birdies here, but you'll enjoy the experience.
We just got a share of birdies a few seconds ago on screen.
Yes, and somebody who's made his fair share is Subhash Tamang, Rondole Patil. Lower round, we've had 3 under by Akshay Sharma and Thangaraja. Stepan Danik, 2 under par with an eagle on the par 5. Anshul Kavatyal, long hitting Anshul. Also with a red number 1 under par. Then you had Harsh Gangwar, 1 under par. And Tapindra Ghai, 3 under par. As you have a look at the top 10 scores, MD Sanju also with a round of 1 under par. He also had a good outing at Delhi Golf Club last week. Very good ball striker, based out of Kolkata. He has been a professional for a long time, and it's good to see him doing well. Shamim Khan, resurgent, 3 under par. The all-time number 1 earning leader. He's the golfer who's earned the most on the professional golf tour of India. And, this tells you what you can do with great talent, tenacity, and adaptability. He's not the longest hitter. He's very modest off the tee, but very cerebral and a putting stroke that you'd probably give an arm for. He's absolute beauty of a golfer. Well, we have a look at Wade here on the tricky 18th. The 18th hole. That should work out fine as you have a look at the Italian now.
The Italian stallion, so to speak, also tied for the lead with Rohan Dole Patil and, of course, Veera Lawat, who was the overnight leader.
The 18th measures in at 452 yards. This back nine is a lot more genial, only 3,100 yards. And the par 35, the front nine is brutal at 37.50. And seems like he's left that a little to the right. And that should be fine. It looks like it's in the heart of the fairway. And Koichiro Sato. You can see how quick these players play, really not wasting much time, and that's something that you like to see.
Koichiro Sato has dropped 2 shots in the last 2 holes after having carded 3 birdies on his back nine to improve his score. He had a forgettable front nine.
Hits the ball a fair distance. He's strong and very good turn that he has through the ball. Look at that. Able to hold that finish. Also plays his golf in Thailand as well, Koichiro. And seems like he's favoring the right-hand side of the fairway as well. So this is your final group, and they are walking down hole number 18. And if you just joined right now, it's never too late to start a good thing. Really nice swings right there. No two swings are the same.
This is probably the only sport where swing styles or techniques vary so much, because I don't think in any other sport there is such a difference in technique.
Yeah, Koichiro. A lot of leg movement right there, a lot of leg drive. And yes, actually right. Look at that, generating a lot of lag is Joshua. He's an imposing figure is Joshua. And Om Prakash, of course, favors the left to right. Nepal's pride, Subhash Tamang. Very effective. 600 path there. Om Prakash, also called OP. You can see that flowing mane. As the players walk towards their final hole here at what has been a really stellar event thus far. CIDCO Open presented by Larsen and Toubro, two giants coming together to make this event happen. This is the inaugural event, so of course the players are vying for that trophy, and it is very keenly contested.
The beautifully manicured Kharghar Valley Golf Course fairways.
And for those of you who are wondering why the players are, some of the players are sporting black ribbons on their cap, it's because of an unfortunate event. We lost one of our most talented players, Hardik Chavda, young man, fortunately passed away, and he's in our prayers, and so is his family. Very liked, affable, and of course the players miss him. And in this trying time for the family, we'd like to say that we're all together, and long may his legacy continue. Hole number 18. This picturesque golf course. I'd say that it won't be surprising if you see a bevy of golfers line up here for their next golfing holiday. I can't think of another spot better than this. Perfect weather and connectivity to Mumbai. This is hardly any distance from Mumbai, and Kharghar Valley Golf Course is an experience that you would like to definitely add to your kitty. Come here, enjoy the hospitality and this golf course. And what's more, that there are various tees, so you can play from your preferred tee and enjoy this layout, which definitely seems to be one of a kind. Perfect greens, good speed, and an intriguing setup. And golf is obviously just one of the things, many things that you can do in this, what is the heart of the country, Amchi, Mumbai.
From a course design point of view, as a professional golfer, what do you think that ravine there is supposed to do? What role is it supposed to play? Because full-fledged drives are a good 20, 30 yards short of the ravine.
It's supposed to intimidate. And of course, it's supposed to catch any errant shot and just give the players a little more to think about. Food for thought. And I think it's doing its bit. We've seen a few players land up. Om Prakash Chauhan unfortunately landed there as is the ball of Mr. Ortolani, who's leaked it a little bit on the right-hand side. Now Veer Lawat in perfect position.
Each one of these golfers, now it's a two-way lead though.
We're a
We've
tall,
had somebody drop off, and that is Subhash Tamang.
tall lad Veer. Was towering physicality, 6'3", and able to generate a lot of speed and height as well. And that really does help. And another stellar shot from Veer. Maybe he can finish with a birdie. The back nine has not been very easy on him. And that's the drive of Sato. So he really does hit it far, because Veer is one of the longest hitters. So, don't, as I say, never judge a book by its cover. He is really packing on a lot of power, is Koichiro. Able to fly that ball well over 300 yards. And of course, it tells you he's nimble, he's athletic, and he packs on a lot of muscle and speed. So brilliant. So it shows you the kind of impressive roster of players that are here on the Professional Golf Tour of India. And no small feat to be leading them. Rohan Dole Patil and Veer Lawat are currently the leaders. And those with the bragging rights as we head towards the end of moving day. Subhash Tamang, of course, with a brilliant round today. And mind you, he had a double bogey as well. So with a double bogey, still managed a 6 under par. It leaves Michel Ortolani.
Pardon me, I made an error about Ortolani. I thought it was Tamang, but Ortolani has dropped 2 shots on the 17th to slide to the 4th position.
I'm not quite certain if an Italian has ever won on tour. I think this might be the first time. If I'm not correct, then please do ignore me. Please do forgive me for my ignorance. But I think he can be the first Italian to win on the Professional Golf Tour of India. That would really be something for his country. He's here, on shores afar, carrying that country's flag. So it will be interesting to see tomorrow if he can come on and really put a challenge, a spanner in the works for Veer and Rohan. And Manu Gandas at 7 under par as we head back to hole number 18. And this bunker shot will be slick. It'll really roll on from here. It's all downhill from there, and he's done well. Left himself about 5.5, 6 feet, and he'll also be helped as Veer is on the same line, so that'll take out a lot of the guesswork as far as the break is concerned. Ravi Kumar also playing really well today. Ravi in with around a 3 under par. Angad Chiva, multiple winner on tour, also with a beautiful round of 4 under par. Koichiro. So it tells you that you need to develop as a youngster who's watching golf on television at this point in time. There's no one size fits all. You need to work on your physicality and your speed training, and you can hit the ball far. Greg Norman, who was actually taught by his mother. I read his book, and one of the first things that he learned was to hit the ball hard. He said you learn to hit the ball hard and then worry about direction later, and that's a view that I really do espouse and agree with. You want to hit the ball far, because the modern game is all about bomb and gouge. The artistry is almost a dying art, a little bit of an oxymoron, but working the ball and shaping it, those are not quite requisite anymore. Let's have a look at Veer's birdie attempt.
That's a little strange, because Yuvraj Singh has always maintained that in cricket, you time the ball, don't try to hit it hard. And he says he's adopting the same thing in golf and it's helping him. So how does that work?
Oh, well, all I can say that Veer has not timed that putt perfectly, and that just about misses it on the lower side, unfortunately for him. But he still holds on to that lead. It's not been an ideal day for him, but I'm pretty certain that he'll be able to bounce back and shoot a red number tomorrow. It's all about timing, of course. But if you have timing and you have power, then you marry the two things. You can hit it even further. timing is essential. But of course, you do need that horsepower as well. As you have a look at Koichiro now. Oh, that's another one goes a begging. It's been that sort of day for Koichiro Sato. He's 6 over, and it's been a little bit of a capitulation from Koichiro Sato. He was pretty well placed after 2 rounds at 7 under par, and he's gone back to the field and tumbled down the leaderboard. But given his penchant and his prowess and his power, I'm pretty certain that he'll bounce back tomorrow in formidable style.
That's the last part of the day by the Italian Ortolani.
Yes, this is the last of the Mohicans right here at CIDCO Open, presented by Larsen and Toubro on the 18th hole. As we draw to a close on our third day's presentation, it's been some sublime golf that we've witnessed. Ortolani has hung in there with a 1 over par round, and this putt finally yields. So we have a good putt, and that's a really nifty par by Michele Ortolani from Italy, who will be playing in the penultimate group tomorrow at 8 under par. This is also the penultimate tournament of the season. It's been a season of firsts, so many new tournaments. And we also have a new Order of Merit champion, Yuvraj Sandhu, a fine pedigreed player based out of Chandigarh. The week after this, we're going to be playing the Tata Open at Golmuri and Beldi Club. That's going to be the final event for INR 2 crore. These players will have the opportunity to move further up in the top 60, and that would allow them to get exemptions into bigger international events. Mind you that Yuvraj Sandhu will be playing on the DP World Tour, the premier tour in the world. Kind courtesy number 1 position on the Order of Merit. And these are some of the players who are in the top 10, starting with Rohan Dole Patil, Veer Lawat, Subhash Tamang, Michele Ortolani, Manu Gandas, Angad Chima, Ravi Kumar, Dhruv Sharon, N. Thangaraja, Akshay Sharma have almost become an auctioneer with this list, because it is really exciting. 10 under par is the leader, and you have only 6 shots between him and Akshay. Ashwin, what do you think? Who's your pick?
Well, I think for sure that Michele Ortolani wouldn't be too disappointed not playing in the leader group. He will have a lot less pressure on him. He'll be able to focus on his game. But if you ask me, I don't know why I see this going into playoff on the last hole on the 18th. And I would love to watch that. It's outstanding golf course, outstandingly challenging 18th hole. It's the best advertisement for golf.
Yeah, well, we'll have a look at the highlights. Gaurav Pratap Singh and Mr. Shivasnath, what's your take? Who's going to take it all away this week?
Well, Shaurya, it's as Ashwin was talking about, we'd love to see a playoff, and it's a tight pack leaderboard. Yes, Ortolani, I would imagine, sitting in the penultimate group would be the hunter tomorrow rather than the hunted, and that would all go well for him. Dole Patil, a great aggressive player, so I'd certainly love to see young Rohan do well, because he's been on the tour. He's been a former number 1 India amateur, and I'd love to see him get a professional win here. So definitely a good day ahead. Tamang in great shape. I think it's going to be sitting right there between the top 4 or 5. Angad Chima and upwards. That is Angad Chima, Manu Gandas, Ortolani, Tamang, Alawat, and Dole Patil. And the winner is going to come out of these 5.
So there we have the prediction. As we have a look at some of the highlights of the day, I was most impressed by Dhruv's putter twirl and the way he was able to catch it. I think I've tried many a times, but never been that successful. Almost ended up teething myself almost one time, if I may say so. So I'd say not for everyone to try. That's the tiger putter flip. Looks very classy when done well.
So true. And what a game we're looking at tomorrow. What a contest. We would request and ask every golf lover, every sport lover in Mumbai.
Subhash Tamang on your screen. Highlights from the day. That putt that he walked in with a lot of confidence. That was really something, the way he walked it in. It tells you that he's firing on all cylinders. And that was the Italian with really precision. What a beautiful putt right there. Left it at the apex and let it just trundle down. Not going to be just all power. Need a little bit of imagination and ingenuity. And the Italian definitely seems to have that. The Italians are known for their flavor, and Ortolani is displayed that. Mr. Patil with that really brilliant finish. Birdie, birdie, eagle par birdie. And you'll have a lot more of that tomorrow when you tune in to the CIDCO Open presented by Larsen and Tubro for the final day's action here at Kharghar Valley Golf Course. It's going to be one to remember.